Chapter 248. In the second hall of the inner palace, there was a 100 tall golden statue. It was the demon statue of a 6-legged bronze beast. Ning Fan's gaze swept across the statue and his eyes narrowed. This 6-legged bronze beast flapped its golden feathers and looked down at the universe. Its gaze was very similar to the demon ancestor's shadow in the Eastern Sea Bell. After reading the scriptures in the scripture tower, Ning Fan already knew that this 6-legged demonic beast was the Dharma image of the immemorial Golden Crow. However, ordinary members of the Golden Crow clan would be considered as heaven-defying if they could cultivate 3 legs. If they could cultivate 4 legs, they would be considered as a royal Golden Crow. There was only one person with 6 legs in the entire world since ancient times. Moreover, Ning Fan's demon blood trembled when he faced the demon statue. After refining the golden light of the Heart Sutra, he faintly felt that there was an additional trace of golden color in his demon blood. That golden color should be the demon ancestor's golden sense. At this moment, it resonated with the demon statue. Immemorial Golden Crow, huh? Ning Fan's mind raced. By relying on the demon ancestor's golden sense, I can get rid of the body of a winged demon and achieve the body of a golden crow. However, even though I will definitely succeed with this trick, I can only awaken a trace of my blood with my remnant sense at most. After the 3rd awakening, my trace of blood will at most be at the level of an ordinary golden crow's demon blood. If that's the case, my demon innate potential will be like a carp. The true spirit blood sounds nice, and it will make people envious in the 9 worlds. However, in the demon spirit land, the thin true spirit blood is just considered mediocre. Ning Fan frowned. The awakening of demon blood was a random factor, but it was also affected by the individual's will. Should I awaken the trace of blood safely or give it my all? Lu Zongyun, who was the priest, stood in front of the demon statue and began to smear the demon blood on his face. Then he burned incense and prayed. However, his expression was still full of worry. He clenched his teeth and said, "Commander Lu, please don't treat the awakening of demon blood as a child's play. If it really fails, please prove that I didn't harm you. Don't worry. No matter if it succeeds or fails, I won't slander you." Ning Fan nodded and did not say anything else. He then entered the 3rd palace alone. This palace was thousands of feet wide. The floor was made of dark gold metal, and there were complicated grooves that looked like formation patterns. They were filled with the blood of golden core demon beasts. And at the very center of the formation runes, there was a pool of blood that was hundreds of feet wide. The energy of the green demonic blood was extremely dense. I'm going to awaken my demon bloodline in this lake. Whether or not I'm going to awaken my Golden Crow bloodline is still up for debate. After all, I have 200,000 battle credits, which means I can awaken my winged demon bloodline twice. Even if I fail the first time, it doesn't matter. Lu Zongyun is right. I need to be cautious when it comes to awakening my demon bloodline. My caution isn't about how to succeed on the first try, but rather, how to awaken my thin-winged demon bloodline to its strongest state. Ning Fan took out the military merit token and touched it with a hand seal. 200,000 battle merits instantly became 100,000. As his battle merits dwindled, the azure blood pool seemed to boil, emitting steam and a fishy smell as it bubbled. At this moment, it was Ning Fan's chance to enter the pond. Wait! Just as Ning Fan was about to enter the pool, a feminine voice resounded beside him. A lady in purple robes walked into the 3rd palace and smiled shyly at Ning Fan. Big Brother said to let one or help the commander change his clothes and guard this place to prevent Lu Zongyun from doing anything. As for this 5th revolution pill, it's called the Blood Awakening Pill. It was given to me by a titled demon general. There were originally 2 of them. One was for Big Brother to consume to awaken his demon bloodline, while the other was for Wan'er's 3rd awakening. Ning Fan was slightly stunned and looked at Lu Wan'er deeply. If this lady helps me change my clothes, doesn't that mean that her chastity will be buried in my hands? Is this really Lu Sheng's idea, or is this lady's personal decision? Ning Fan asked while looking at the golden pill in his palm, which was filled with boundless energy. Is this pill the demon general's idea or yours? Yes. It's Big Brother's idea. You don't have to feel uneasy. Lu Wan'er's face blushed a little unnaturally. Ning Fan sighed. A fifth revolution pill was useful for a spirit-severing realm demon general who was undergoing his third awakening. With Lu Sheng's personality, it was impossible for him to disregard his sister and snatch her pill to please Ning Fan. Currently, Lu Sheng was indeed sincere in befriending Ning Fan. However, he was befriending Ning Fan as an equal instead of lowering his status. It was not Lu Sheng's style to harm his own family and benefit his estrangement. With Ning Fan's eyesight, he could naturally tell that Lu Wan'er was lying. This lady came here on her own accord to protect him and give him the pill. It was because this lady had fallen in love with him. However, this lady seemed to know that Ning Fan's ambition was not in the northern desert city, and it was impossible for him to stay here for her. Thus, she did not reveal her feelings. It's hard to repay a debt of love. Ning Fan sighed softly in his heart and turned to Lu Wan'er with a smile. I've long heard that the women of the demon race are bold to love and hate. They are bold and straightforward like a white fox falling in love with a scholar. There are too many such stories to mention. Today Miss Wan'er gave me such a precious pill behind my big brother's back. Could it be that you want me to be the scholar and have a good night with you, the white fox? Lu Wan'er had the white fox demon bloodline. After hearing Ning Fan's teasing words, Lu Wan'er's cheeks turned even redder. She rolled her eyes at Ning Fan. It's good that you know it in your heart. Why do you have to say it out loud? Besides, you're a devil lord who kills people like scything flax. Who would want to fall in love with you? You can take this pill as my apology to you. During these years, every time you tried to woo me, I always chased you away with cold words. I'm sure you must have suffered some grievances because of your pride and self-esteem. Ning Fan stopped smiling and sighed softly. So that's how it is. This lady did not fall in love with me for no reason. She had the shadow of the main character, Liu Bei, whom she had been in contact with for many years. Her impression of Liu Bei was extremely deep, but it was all bad. When he replaced Liu Bei and came to the northern desert, his temperament had changed. The bad impression that this lady had of him turned into a favorable impression. If Ning Fan is really Liu Bei, Lu Wan'er's feelings would turn from hatred to love with guilt. Unfortunately, Ning Fan was not Liu Bei. You've fallen in love with the wrong person. That's right. Lu Wan'er let out a faint sigh. She had misunderstood Ning Fan's meaning. She thought that Ning Fan was saying that the two of them were not like-minded, and it was impossible for them to be together. However, this pill is very precious. I owe you a favor. If there's a need in the future, I will certainly help you once. Is that so? Lu Wan'er smiled gently and began to help Ning Fan change his clothes. Her jade-like hands groped Ning Fan's body and unbuttoned his clothes one by one. It was her first time helping a man take off his clothes. A lady of the demon race helping a man to change his clothes was no different from pledging to marry him. Ning Fan dived into the blood pool naked. He only brought his storage pouch with him. Beside the blood pool, Lu Wan'er's cheeks were flushed. She did not expect that such a ferocious killer would have such a thin and fair body. He really looks like a scholar. A white fox who loves a scholar, huh? Lu Wan'er was slightly fascinated. Liu Bei, I wish you a bright future. As for you, you don't need to remember me. In the blood pool, Ning Fan shot into the bottom of the pool like a water arrow. 100 zhang below, the green blood was immersed in the viscous liquid. He slowly opened his eyes, opened his mouth and swallowed a mid-grade 5th revolution pill, blood awakening pill. The demon blood in his body was boiling. However, his heart was exceptionally calm because of the blood awakening pill. This pill was specially used for demon generals during their third awakening. It would be too wasteful to consume it during their second awakening. Lu Wan'er was reluctant to consume it since she had just undergone her second awakening. However, she did not think that it would be a waste for Ning Fan to consume it. She heard from her brother that after Ning Fan awakens his blood, he would recommend him to go to the Luoyun province to take part in the demon general assessment. If he succeeds, he might even have a chance to attain the divine transformation realm. At that time, Ning Fan would become an existence that was second only to the leader of the Luoyun tribe. In the future, Ning Fan might even break out of the Luoyun tribe and settle the disputes among the 9 tribes, ascending to the demon spirit land. Awakening her demon blood might be the last chance for her to meet him. She decided to let Ning Fan consume the blood awakening pill. She decided to help Ning Fan, the winged demon, condense his proudest wings and fly to a higher place before he leaves the northern desert city. The women of the demon race were the most infatuated and bold. Once they have set their eyes on someone, they would never turn back. However, Lu Wanner would never know that Ning Fan was not Liu Bei. In fact, he was not even a true member of the demon race. "Thank you," Ning Fan muttered to himself. His eyes were gradually shrouded by the faint purple medicinal qi. At this moment, his perception of his own bloodline had become more than 10,000 times sharper. He could even sense the breath of the demon blood. Moreover, Ning Fan could vaguely see that there were 17 green bloodlines hidden deep within his demon blood. That was the thin blood of the winged demon that he possessed. Absorbing the power of his bloodline was actually to increase the number of green bloodlines in his body to increase the density of his bloodline. Absorb. Before Lu Zhongyan kowtowed to the demon statue, Ning Fan had already formed 17 green feathers in front of him with the help of his 17 traces of demon blood. The feathers then broke into pieces and turned into 17 green vortexes that began to devour the blood in the blood pool. The process was like burning his bloodline. However, the pain of having one's blood burned was nothing to Ning Fan. He was a monster who could endure the pain of engraving hundreds of devil marks. Almost in an instant, the 18th green vortex was condensed. Be it Lu Zhongyun or Demon General Lu Sheng who was standing under the wall of demon shadows, all of them were astonished. What kind of person could absorb the demon blood into his body, without borrowing the power of the demon ancestor's demon statue? The only way was to consume a blood awakening pill. However, such a precious pill was only available to titled demon generals. It was only given to demon generals. Ordinary demon soldiers would never have it. Is it Wanner? She said that she was going to protect Liu Bei. I didn't expect that she would give the only blood awakening pill to this person. What a silly girl. Why did she have to do this? Lu Xing sighed. His younger sister had fallen in love with someone that she shouldn't have. Lu Wanner's eyes lit up. Even ordinary demon generals can't condense the 18th green vortex in just a short period of time. Moreover, it was so painful to awaken the demon blood, but you didn't even make a sound. I, Lu Wanner, really have a good eye? You are the most outstanding man that I have ever seen. Unfortunately, I am not worthy of you. In the second palace, Lu Zhongyun did not dare to be careless anymore. He immediately knelt on the ground and kowtowed to the demon ancestor's statue. 10 kowtows, 100 kowtows, 1,000 kowtows. Traces of white-colored qi rose from Lu Zhongyun's prayers and entered the 100-zhang tall demon statue. The eyes of the demon statue shone with a faint golden light. Even though it was extremely faint, at this moment, the demon blood in the bloodline pool seemed to be intimidated, and its absorption speed almost doubled. Ning Fan's demon blood seemed to be burning, but his eyes were filled with determination. He bent his fingers and formed a circle. Then, like a vortex, he rapidly condensed the demon blood vortex. 19, 20, 25. When he reached the checkpoint of awakening his demon blood, Ning Fan's eyelids twitched. However, he did not stop and continued to condense the 26th bloodline vortex. The ranking on the wall of demon shadows kept changing. Ning Fan's ranking had risen to the 8,600th rank. Liu Bei, Feathered Demon Blood, 25th Dan. When the number changed to 26, Demon General Lu Sheng's eyes flashed. This young man's ambition is indeed not to awaken his demon blood through ordinary means. What he is pursuing is definitely the 100 Dan remnant blood. There's no doubt about it. At this moment, Lu Zhongyan groaned inwardly. While he was kowtowing to the demon statue, he was surprised by Ning Fan's speed of condensing demon blood. It was too fast. When Ning Fan's demon blood reached the 25th level, he heaved a sigh of relief. In this case, Ning Fan's bloodline awakening shouldn't fail. However, when Ning Fan's bloodline continued to increase and reached the 26th level, Lu Zhongyan's heart skipped a beat. Is this young man trying to break through to the 60th level? Even though a hybrid demon was weaker than a true spirit realm cultivator, it was still an extremely strong demon species. If it was cultivated to the extreme, it would not be any weaker than a true spirit realm cultivator. Just like the 4 fierce demon species in the ancient times. Hun Dun Cheong Chi Tao Tai. All of them had the body of a single demon. They condensed the demon blood of many different species to form a powerful demon body. This man's first bloodline awakening ended in failure after reaching the 9th level. This time, even though he managed to break through to the 25th level by luck, why didn't he learn from the good ones and insisted on breaking through to the 60th level? If he fails, the demon general will definitely think that it's my fault. Forget it. I'm going to risk it all. Lu Zongyun stopped kowtowing. He patted his storage pouch and took out a jade bottle. Inside the bottle was a ball of milky white qi. It was the power of the Joss flame. This was the power that he had secretly accumulated as a priest for 1,000 years. In the past, he had used half of it to awaken his son's bloodline. Now he was afraid that the remaining half would be used on Ningfan. Alright. If you want to reach the 60th level, this old man will risk it all and help you. Who asked this old man to share both your glory and my loss? Lu Zongyun crushed the jade bottle. The white qi went into the demon statue. Immediately, the speed of blood condensation in the bloodline pool increased by 3 times. After condensing the 31st bloodline vortex, Ningfan could clearly feel that the speed of blood condensation had slowed down. The further he went, the harder it would be to condense the blood vortex. The 30-second blood vortex would probably take up a lot of time. However, just as he was pondering, the blood pool suddenly became even more boiling. In just a moment, Ningfan condensed the 30-second blood vortex. Oh, this Lu Zongyun seems to be working very hard. The speed of blood condensation in the bloodline pool has actually increased by so much. Putting away his thoughts, Ningfan calmed himself down and concentrated on condensing the blood. Just like that, he sat there for 10 days. 33, 34, 59. When he broke through the 60th blood vortex, the demon shadow steel shone with green light. His ranking had risen to the 147th rank. In other words, in the second realm of the vast second realm, his bloodline alone was enough to rank him at the 147th rank. Not only the demon shadow steel of the Luo Yun tribe shone with green light, the steels of the other 8 demon clans and the demon cities also shone with green light. Countless experts rushed to the demon general's eggs in their respective demon cities, and saw the names rising rapidly on the demon shadow steel. Liu Bei. It's Liu Bei. Isn't he a ferocious demon with a 30 million bounty on his head? Rumor has it that he is a mid-divine transformation realm cultivator. But why did he just awaken his demon blood for the second time? Strange. In the province of the Lai Tu tribe, a burly man in silver armor stood under the demon shadow steel, and stared at the jade steel with gloomy eyes. Behind him, countless experts of the demon race did not even dare to breathe loudly. This person was the titled Earth General, Bai Wuzuan. Humph. It turns out that this is Liu Bei. I've sent people to investigate him. Rumor has it that this person had failed to awaken his demon blood, and is a trash among trash. I didn't believe this information at first. But now, it seems like there's a reason why he annihilated the Trap Peak guards. Maybe he used some tricks that I don't know about and killed Xiong Rui. Humph. The 30 million bounty on his head is a little too much. In the province of the Luo Yun tribe, an old man in beast armor stood under the demon shadow steel, while holding a walking stick with a dragon head. His eyes were squinted and filled with wisdom. Liu Bei. The 8th general that Lu Sheng recommended is indeed extraordinary. Sovereign Shadow, Demon Ancestor's Aura. If this person's bloodline is over 100 and condenses the incomplete ancient blood, even if he hasn't reached the divine transformation realm, I'll allow him to be the Luo Yun tribe's 8th demon general. In the province of the Cleansing Fire tribe, a middle-aged man wearing a red dragon robe stood under the demon shadow steel, while stroking his beard lightly. Behind him, Wang Xiao and the other 10 demon generals that came to the demon world were also sitting leisurely, and did not pay any attention to the demon shadow steel. This person's demon blood is actually over 60 parts. I didn't expect him to hide his strength so deeply. The red dragon middle-aged man's eyes turned cold. However, his words immediately caused the 10 demon generals, including Wang Xiao, to sneer coldly. It's just 60 parts. Unless this person's demon blood is over 100 parts, it's not worth mentioning at all. It was true that Wang Xiao and the others had the pride of being favored by the heavens. As the elite demon race of the heaven realm, they were born with the primordial remnant bloodline. During the second awakening, everyone could be considered to have the primordial demon bloodline. After the third awakening, a few of them could even improve the quality of their demon blood, becoming an even stronger primordial demon blood. For example, Li Ban. The experts of the Blood Carp clan could condense a thin amount of immemorial lightning dragon's blood with their own efforts. It was natural for them to look down on Ning Fan. No, it's not what General Wang is thinking. This Liu Bei is a spy that our cleansing fire tribe planted in the Luoyun continent. Every one of these spies would choose people with poor aptitudes and conduct. Even this Liu Bei has made me scoff at him because his aptitudes are too low. Last time, he failed to awaken his demon blood and was only at the 9th level. He was a joke. However, this time, he actually broke through to the 60th level. This person is a bit strange. It's as if he has become a different person. Haha, General Fire is overthinking. It's more important for us to discuss the important matter. How are we going to plan the map of the world passage of the other 8 tribes, kill evil Commander Lu Wu, and seize the star of the Heavenly Emperor? As for this Liu Bei, he's not worth mentioning at all. Am I overthinking? The Red Dragon Man frowned and said. Among the 10 people, only Li Ban looked at Liu Bei's name thoughtfully. Unknowingly, Liu Bei's image appeared in his mind. It was not the lowly person who welcomed them into the second world. Instead, it was the image of another man. Zhou Ming. Humph. I don't know if this person died in the immemorial teleportation formation. If he didn't, I'm more than happy to go to the Endless Sea and kill him after the mission is completed. Judging from the position where he entered the teleportation formation, he should have come to the Endless Sea. However, this Zhou Ming must have died in the void after the formation collapsed. The corner of Li Ban's mouth curved into a cold smile. If he knew that Ning Fan didn't die, how would he feel? Northern Desert City, Demon Shadow Steel. Lu Xing looked at the jade steel with a frown. He firmly believed that the 60th level was not Ning Fan's limit. This person would advance to a higher realm, the immemorial remnant blood. When the 60th level turned into the 61st level, Lu Xing's gaze relaxed and he laughed. I didn't misjudge him. With this person, who can compete for the position of the 8th general in the prefecture. In the second palace, Lu Zongyun's forehead was bleeding from kowtowing. 10 days of kowtowing. It was 10 days of non-stop kowtowing. In order to show his sincerity, Lu Zongyun did not even use his demon power to protect his forehead. Even with his Grand Cultivator cultivation base, his forehead was bleeding from kowtowing for 10 days. However, when he saw that Ning Fan's demon blood had broken through to the 60th level, Lu Zongyun felt relieved. In this way, this person's efforts were not in vain. He did not waste the Joss flame power that he had collected for 1,000 years. This person has broken through to the mixed demon seed. It's enough. He was about to stand up. However, before he could do so, his knees gave way and he knelt on the ground. Blood and chi rushed to his heart, and he spurted out a mouthful of blood. 61. 61. Could it be that this person wants to break through to the 100th level? He's already a mixed demon seed. Is he still not satisfied? Lu Zongyun's heart was filled with the urge to curse. If he wasn't the priest of the Northern Desert, the face of the Northern Desert Demon City, he would really curse without caring about his identity. This Liu Bei really doesn't know what's good for him. If it weren't for me, Lu Zongyun, using my 1,000-year reserves and kowtowing with all my might, do you think you could break through to the 60th phase with your inferior aptitude of failing second sleep? It wasn't easy for you to reach phase 60, but you still don't know what's good for you and want to reach phase 100? You want to obtain an immemorial monster vein? Dream on. This is infuriating. This is infuriating. If Liu Bei fails, Demon General Lu Xing will definitely take my life. The heavens have taken pity on me. I didn't harm you, and I'm even doing my best to help you. Why can't you quit while you're ahead? Fine, fine, fine. If you don't break through to the remnant ancient bloodline, I fear you won't stop. If you fail, then my entire family will be exterminated by the Demon General, and I won't be able to continue being a priest. This is something passed down from my Lu family ancestor, the life-blood Joss flame. Every generation's high priest worships the demon ancestor for 1,000 years and transforms their lifeblood into blood-red Joss flames. This thing was originally used by this old man to break through to the divine transformation realm. You're lucky now. You failed, and I didn't even get my life back. How the hell am I supposed to transform into a god? Lu Zhongyan pulled a long face and crushed the jade bottle. A stream of blood mist entered the golden statue of the demon ancestor. At this moment, the golden statue of the demon ancestor was dyed with a faint blood glow. The speed of blood condensation in the bloodline pool increased by at least 10 times. If you fail to break through to the remnant ancient bloodline, I will fight you to the death. Lu Zhongyun's eyes were filled with bitterness, grievance, heartache, madness, and even indignation. He felt that if Liu Bei's bloodline reached the 100th phase, and he still didn't awaken his demon blood, he would definitely go crazy. One must know when to quit while one is ahead. Didn't your father teach you that? Chapter 249. There were 61 vortexes in the green blood pool. At the bottom of the pond, Ning Fan was as still as a corpse. Only the occasional hand seals showed that he was still alive. As the demon ancestor statue sank into the Joss flames, the blood in the blood pool became even hotter than lava. Is it Lu Zhongyun who is helping me? This person actually has a way to make the demon blood boil to this extent. Ning Fan bent his fingers and formed a blood whirlpool at the bottom of the blood pool. 61, 62, 69. 3 days later, there were already 70 green blood whirlpools around Ning Fan's body. The speed at which the demon blood was condensing began to slow down. 71, 72, 79. Another 10 days later, Ning Fan condensed the 80th green blood whirlpool. The speed of blood condensation became even slower. 81, 82, 89. 1 month later, Ning Fan condensed the 90th blood vortex. 2 months later, there were already 99 blood whirlpools. Once the 100th blood vortex was formed, Ning Fan could begin to awaken the immemorial remnant blood. The golden sense of the demon ancestor in the demon blood was eager to try. It was as if this thought wanted to lead Ning Fan to the path of the immemorial golden crow. However, Ning Fan was hesitating. There were 2 paths in front of him. One was to awaken the incomplete immemorial bloodline. However, the incomplete immemorial bloodline had different levels of strength. It was highly possible that the immemorial bloodline that Ning Fan awakened was far inferior to the Golden Crow bloodline. The second option was to rely on the aura of the Golden Crow in the ancestral demon's golden sense, to awaken as a Golden Crow. If he resorted to such trickery, he would almost certainly succeed. He would be able to condense his remaining blood, but in this life, he would only be able to be an ordinary Golden Crow. If one was not a member of the Golden Crow tribe and cultivated the Golden Crow demonic Tao, how could one dream of becoming a royal Golden Crow? Royal bloodline. Ning Fan remained silent. Even true members of the Golden Crow race who had awakened their royal bloodline were 1 in 10,000. If he wanted to awaken his royal bloodline, he had to awaken a complete demon bloodline at least during the second awakening. Only then would the third awakening have a chance to improve the bloodline beyond the complete bloodline. He had become a royal true spirit in 1 step. Bright Sparrow, the little pill devil, possessed the blood of the royal dark sparrow. With his royal bloodline, he could make tens of thousands of demons submit to him. Is it possible for me to condense a royal bloodline? Ning Fan asked himself. However, after pondering for a while, he realized that the success rate of awakening the royal bloodline was less than 1 in a million with just his 100 segments of demon blood. Even though he had devoured the blood of 1,000 wild beasts, his success rate was not even 1 in a million. Neither of the 2 paths in front of him led to the royal clan's true spirit. He laughed bitterly. He seemed to have been too greedy. Even a demon general like Li Ban was excited to condense a trace of immemorial Thunder Dragon's demonic blood. The reputation of the Golden Crow was even higher than that of the immemorial Thunder Dragon. Even if it was not a royal bloodline, if he could successfully awaken it for the 3rd time, his bloodline would at least be much higher than Li Ban's. Forget it, let's awaken the Golden Crow's blood. He made up his mind and formed a series of hand seals with all 10 of his fingers. forming the 100th blood vortex. He opened his mouth and swallowed 100 green blood whirlpools into his stomach. At this moment, Lu Zongyun stopped kowtowing and was overjoyed. Good. This child had finally reached the 100th bloodline, and had begun to attack the remnant archaic bloodline. From this momentum, it seemed that his chances of success weren't small. If that's the case, then the tens of thousands of times I've kowtowed to the ancestral statue over the past few months were not in vain. In this case, I can finally report to Lord Demon General now. In the first palace, Lu Xing revealed a satisfied smile. The current ranking of Ningfan's bloodline was already at the 49th place. Such a powerful bloodline was even slightly stronger than Lu Sheng's. This Lu Zongyun did not play any tricks. This is very good. As for this Liu Bei, I really didn't misjudge him. Lu Wanner had been waiting for Ningfan at the edge of the bloodline pool for several months. When she saw the golden vortex rising from the green blood pool, her eyes were filled with surprise. I can't be wrong. This golden color is the remnant archaic bloodline. Judging from its light, this bloodline belongs to one of the top bloodlines among the true spirit realm demon races. Lu Wanner was looking forward to the moment when Ningfan successfully awakened his bloodline. At this moment, Ningfan was at the bottom of the blood pool. 2 large golden wings grew out from his back. He seemed to have turned into a golden man. The green demon star in his left eye slowly turned pale golden. Awakening. All Ningfan needs to do is to retract and condense his blood and qi, and the awakening would end successfully. However, at the moment when the demon blood was about to succeed, a strong feeling of uneasiness rose in his heart. The more the demon blood condensed, the more Ningfan felt as if something inside his body was being drawn out. This feeling, could it be? His eyes were unprecedentedly solemn. Such uneasiness was definitely not an illusion. He patted his storage pouch and took out a milky white round stone. This stone was given to Ningfan by old ancestor Dong Su after the auction ended. It was called the mechanism stone. Inside the stone, there was an exquisite mechanism technique. Its effect was to detect a cultivator's luck slightly. With the magic power below the void fragmentation realm, it was impossible for a cultivator to detect luck at all. Luck was just like one's life, emotions, great momentum or pressure. It could neither be seen nor touched. However, Dong Su, on the other hand, created such a small stone with his mastery of the Tao of luck and heaven-defying technique. As soon as he held the stone in his hand, Ningfan's green luck immediately appeared. However, as the remnant blood of the golden crow condensed, the green luck was gradually replaced by yellow. Ningfan's eyes widened in surprise. He could vaguely feel that the thing that was being drawn out of his body was actually luck. How could this be? Dong Su said that my magic power can't transform into the divine transformation realm. I can only transform into the devil transformation realm. Otherwise, my luck will be drained. Why can't my demon power condense into the golden crow's blood? Ningfan didn't know where his luck was draining to. However, he vaguely understood something. After all, he was being schemed against by someone. It seemed like the condensation of the golden crow's blood was a crucial step in that person's scheme. If this step was successful, his fate would be irreversible and his future would be miserable. Therefore, his luck was draining away. The remnant blood of the golden crow. The more Ningfan thought about it, the more terrified he felt. The condensation of the remnant blood of the golden crow was all thanks to the golden sense of the demon ancestor. The golden sense of the demon ancestor was all thanks to the Eastern Ocean Bell. The Eastern Ocean Bell was found in the Demon Sinister Forest. The Demon Sinister Forest was the place where the mysterious true immortal raised demons. No matter what he did, every step he took seemed to be part of someone's scheme. Everything was for the sake of awakening the golden crow's blood today. From the moment he joined Sinister Sparrow sect to the entrance examination, he was already schemed against. A treasure like the Eastern Ocean Bell was purposely placed in the 3rd level of the Demon Sinister Forest to wait for him to retrieve it. Could it be that the person who schemed against him was the mysterious true immortal who schemed against Bright Sparrow? Ningfan's eyes were filled with anger. He didn't like being schemed against by others. In fact, no one would like to be schemed against by others. Looking at the decreasing luck in his hand, Ning Fan's eyes flashed with cold light. The day when his luck is depleted would be the day of his death. Does it make you happy to scheme against me? I'm going to break your scheme. There were two paths in front of Ning Fan. One was to awaken the remnant blood of the Golden Crow. The second was to awaken the remnant blood of the ordinary true immortal. The mysterious true immortal must have foreseen that Ning Fan would be able to see through his scheme today. However, the true immortal wasn't afraid that Ning Fan would find out about it. Ning Fan had a feeling. Today, whether he awakened the remnant blood of the Golden Crow or ordinary immemorial blood, or completely gave up on awakening his bloodline, he would fall into that person's scheme. This was an open scheme. You can see through it, but you can't avoid it. No, I still have a fourth path. Even that mysterious true immortal couldn't predict it accurately. I want to awaken my demon bloodline, and not the remnant blood. In this way, I can step into the royal bloodline, and become a true spirit of the royal clan when I awaken my blood for the third time. The success rate is less than 1 in 10,000. However, it's precisely because of this low probability that the true immortal couldn't predict this possibility at all. I'm going to take a gamble. Even if there's only 1 in 10,000 chance, I can't lose. Ning Fan dispersed the golden light and the golden wings. His bloodline eventually stopped at the 100 levels winged demon realm. He failed to awaken his blood. Lu Sheng looked at the Demon Shadow Monument in disbelief. The Demon Shadow Monument clearly showed that Ning Fan had the Golden Crow bloodline. Why did it degenerate to the Winged Demon realm at the last moment? Lu Zhongyan was completely dumbfounded. He had gone through a lot of trouble and exhausted all his treasures to help Liu Bei awaken his bloodline. But this young man still failed? Lu Wan'er's surprised expression froze. It was because she saw the golden light feather that was about to break through to the next realm shatter. When she saw Ning Fan crawling out of the bloodline pool like a man made of blood, and his chi was extremely weak, she felt a heartache. Liu Bei, what happened to you? Are you alright? Did I fail? How could this happen? Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't blame yourself even if you fail. I'm here. However, when Ning Fan raised his head, the expression he gave her was neither the dejection of failure, nor the pretentious calmness. Instead, it was a smile. Even though it was a smile, his eyes were filled with madness. He patted Lu Wan'er's head and battle intent rose from his body. I didn't fail. The first time I awaken my blood, I want to destroy that person's scheme. The second time, I want to make his plan fail. Lu Wan'er did not know what Ning Fan was talking about. However, she knew that Ning Fan's failure seemed to be his own doing. Ning Fan took out the military merit token and made a hand seal to erase the last 100,000 points. Then he jumped into the bloodline pool. No matter who you are, your scheme ends here. Above the rain world, there were 4 boundless voids. In the voids, there were 4 immeasurable heavenly gates. On the side of the southern heavenly gate, in a certain world that was shrouded in 7 colored clouds, a silver-haired old man was facing a gigantic starlight chessboard. He was playing black and white chess. He was playing chess against himself. His fingertip moved a chess piece. Sometimes it turned black and sometimes it turned white. Sometimes, the chess piece alternated between black and white. Behind him, there were 7 Dao children who were serving him respectfully. Facing the 7th person, the silver-haired old man chuckled and moved the chess piece. Ming Si Ming is here. You are already at the peak of the 9th heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. You are only half a step away from the life immortal realm. As the immortal emperor who controls fate, I have chosen 7 Dao corpses for you. Choose one of them and devour it to achieve the life immortal realm. I choose Kuei Ling, Star Lord of Kuei Sea of the Southern Sea Realm, Rogue Immortal Realm. Si Ming bowed and said, This is not the best choice. Kuei Ling was tricked by me and was suppressed in the eye of the Southern Sea for 10,000 years. He was betrayed by his loved ones and had one of his arms severed by his loved ones. He trained his heart with hatred and sharpened his sword with his heart. He used his sword as his eyes and killed with his eyes. This person's sword eyes are indeed extremely powerful and suitable for you to break through to the life immortal realm. However, Kuei Ling is not the best choice. If that's the case, I choose the sect master of the Mo Yun sect of the Heaven Immortal World, 8th heavenly layer of the Void Fragmentation Realm, Golden Rock. Si Ming pondered for a moment and replied. This is also not the best choice. Golden Rock was tricked by me. His family members were all killed, and he has enemies all over the Heaven Immortal World. In order to seek the heavenly fate, he severed his emotions. In order to seek power, he killed his master and seized power. In order to seek the metal vein, he gave his wife to someone else. In order to seek longevity, he killed his son to concoct pills. This person is ruthless and unpredictable. His metal divine vein is able to control the metal within a million li radius of the earth, and turn it into his bones, body and weapons. His attacks and defenses are heaven-defying. However, this person is not the most suitable Dao corpse for you. The silver-haired old man smiled faintly. As for the Dao child of Si Ming, his face was filled with confusion. After pondering for a while, he cupped his fists at his master and asked directly, May I know who is the one that master suggests, Si Ming, to devour and seize his luck to break through to the life immortal realm? My suggestion is to devour this person. The silver-haired old man moved the chess piece on his fingertip. In an instant, it turned from black and white to gray. The Dao child was slightly startled. This person is just an ant from the lower world. His aptitude is low and his cultivation base is low. This person's inheritance is an incomplete copy of the yin-yang transformation. Moreover, he still needs the chaos truth inheritance that was created before the ancient chaos great emperor created the yin-yang transformation. Only by complementing each other can he have the hope of advancing to the great Tao. This person's cultivation base is even lower. He's only at the nascent soul realm. What's the use of devouring him? There's no need to ask. Si Ming, I've given you the opportunity. You can choose the 7 Dao corpses yourself. The silver-haired old man smiled faintly and put the chess piece back on the chessboard. Then he stood up and left. However, just as he turned around, he suddenly frowned. This kid actually gave up on the Golden Crow's blood? Humph. Stubborn. Does he think that he can escape from the fate that I've set for him? Even if you fail to awaken your blood today, you're still the best Dao corpse for my 7th disciple. This is... The silver-haired old man's eyes were filled with shock for the first time, ever since he became an immortal emperor. On the chessboard, the gray chess piece that represented Ningfan was tainted by a purplish-black filthy demonic qi. It's dirty. It's actually dirty. It's actually... Fooly. Master, what's wrong? Si Ming asked carefully. It was her first time seeing her master frowning. It's nothing. That Ningfan is no longer a Dao corpse that's suitable to devour. Now his luck has been tainted. Whoever devours him will never be able to become an immortal. To think that I've placed such high hopes on this kid, and regarded him as the best Dao corpse. This kid's Dao path has already been ruined. Defying the heavens and changing one's fate was easy to say, but difficult to do. Ningfan did not know that the person who plotted against him was an immortal emperor from the 4 heavens. He did not know that his ending had been predetermined since he was born. But today he was going to change it. As long as he could make this mysterious true immortal make a wrong move, he could seize the opportunity to break free from the shackles of fate, and no longer be plotted against by anyone. He closed his eyes and entered the bloodline pool for the 2nd time. He no longer relied on the demon ancestor Jin Yen. Instead, he made a bold move. He sent the demon ancestor Jin Yen into the demon statue. The trace of Jin Yen quickly melted inside the body of the demon statue. Rays of dazzling golden light emerged on the surface of the demon statue. The condensing power of the bloodline pool was 10 times stronger than when he used the lifeblood Joss flame. I don't know how to condense a complete immemorial bloodline. But perhaps the strength of the demon blood is the key. Condense. He closed his eyes. In his mind, balls of flames with different colors floated in the void. Each of them represented a type of demon blood. There was a golden crow, a fire phoenix, a kuan peng and a dark sparrow. However, Ningfan did not reach out his hand because none of the demon blood could extinguish the uneasiness in his heart. 101, 102. 199, 200, 201, 299. When he condensed the 300th blood whirlpool, a ball of purplish-black flame suddenly appeared in his mind and disappeared in a flash. The flame disappeared as soon as it appeared, but it gave Ning Fan a bloody and nauseating feeling. However, his face suddenly turned joyful because this feeling made his uneasiness decrease. Every time he took a step closer to the purplish-black demonic flame, the green color of the mechanism stone would decrease by a bit, which meant that its luck was returning. Even though the yellow color decreased, the green color did not move towards green. Instead, it slowly turned dark green and moved towards dark blue. Black luck. Ning Fan's eyes turned solemn. Black luck had another name in the Four Heavens immortal world. Hopeless immortal ascension. However, this black color gave Ning Fan a sense of security. Unknowingly, he felt that if he tainted his own luck, he could escape from the mysterious man's plot. There were two paths. One was to die from someone's plot. The other was to have his luck turn black, and it was highly possible that he had no hope of becoming an immortal. Instead of falling into someone's plot, it's better to break free from the shackles and obtain the black luck. I seem to have understood the devil transformation that Dong Su mentioned. This black luck is probably devil luck. If I can't become an immortal and ascend to the immortal world, I will become a devil and ascend to the devil abyss. To me, there is no difference. Moreover, this blood gives me an extremely powerful feeling. However, this is my first time seeing this ferocious beast. What kind of true spirit realm demonic beast is this? Ning Fan closed his eyes and waited. After an unknown period of time, the purplish-black flame appeared in his mind for the second time. Ning Fan grabbed it and swallowed it. All of a sudden, a pair of huge purplish-black crystal wings grew on his back. The wood star in his left eye had turned purple-black. The 300 blood whirlpools collapsed into blood threads and entered Ning Fan's body, condensing into a complete drop of purplish-black blood. The purple star in his left eye flashed and his aura surged. 2,150 units of demonic power. His demonic power continued to break through. Mid-nascent soul realm, late-nascent soul realm, peak. The purplish-black blood slowly melted in his immortal veins. Because of the 300 blood threads, his demonic power rose to 2,455 units. Ning Fan's ranking on the demon shadow steel had risen to the 19th rank with the help of 300 pieces of his bloodline. He was only at the second stage of awakening blood, but he was ranked 19th among the 103rd stage divine transformation realm experts in the land of slumber. Liu Bei, 305 pieces of Fuli demon blood. Fuli. Is this demon also a true spirit race? Why have I never heard of it before? Ning Fan frowned. However, everything was not over yet. Lu Wan'er covered her small mouth and stood at the edge of the pool, staring at it in disbelief. Under her gaze, a naked man flapped his huge purplish-black crystal wings. His body was slowly covered with purplish-black scales. He had 2 horns on his head, and his long purplish-black hair fluttered without any wind. Like an aurora, he shot up to the sky. The roof of the palace and the egg of the demon general were all destroyed by him. He shot up to the 9 heavens. The moment he stepped on the sky, he let out a sharp demonic howl. In the sky, a 1,000,000 zhang tall purplish-black demon shadow slowly appeared. It was illusory and ancient. Lu Xing turned into a wisp of green smoke and floated in the sky, staring at the purplish-black demon shadow in disbelief. He only knew that this demon's name was Fu Li from the demon shadow steel. However, he never knew what it was. It was a taboo. Not even the ancient demon race knew about it. Even ancient chaos did not know about it. However, Lu Xing understood what the appearance of the demon shadow represented. It meant that Ning Fan had awakened his immemorial demon blood in his second blood awakening, and not the incomplete blood. Moreover, he would have the chance to obtain the bloodline from the ancient beast shadow of the ancestor of the Fu Li race. When a drop of purplish-black blood that was the size of a fist floated into his hand, Lu Xing felt even more incredulous. This is ancestral blood. Those who could condense the incomplete immemorial bloodline during the second stage of blood awakening were already outstanding. Those who could condense the complete bloodline and receive the ancestral demon's blood were even more outstanding. This meant that the recipient of the bloodline had the possibility of advancing to the royal demon bloodline. However, since ancient times, Only 10 drops of true spirit bloodline could be bestowed to a person who had undergone the second blood awakening. No one had ever been bestowed the ancestral blood. The Fu Li demon vein that Ning Fan awakened was a cursed demon vein. For countless years, no one had awakened this demon vein. It was because just by looking at the black luck of the demon blood, everyone would retreat. No one was willing to find out what exactly this demon blood was. In order to break free from the scheme, Ning Fan awakened this demon blood. As the first person to awaken it, the benefits he would get were huge. Ancestral blood. Ning Fan took a deep breath. He did not know what kind of beast the Fu Li race was, but he knew what this drop of ancestral blood represented. The amount of demonic power it contained was at least 5,000 units. An ancient voice resounded in Ning Fan's mind. My Fu Li race has been annihilated for a long time. Since you managed to awaken your blood, you are fated to be with me. I will grant you the royal bloodline and grant you the title of Fu Li demon ancestor. You shall be honored together with the dragon ancestor, phoenix ancestor, sparrow ancestor and crow ancestor. At the moment when the voice disappeared, Ning Fan's demonic power advanced towards 7,455 units under the blessing of this drop of ancestral blood. I didn't expect that I would awaken my Fu Li demon blood in order to avoid the scheme. Since I am the only member of the clan, I will be bestowed the ancestral blood. As such, the trouble caused by the black luck is not worth mentioning at all. With 7,455 units of demonic power, not only am I now at the half-step divine transformation realm, but I have also completed 3/4 of the path to the divine transformation realm. If I can devour the blood of a demon marshal, I even have the confidence to break through to the divine transformation realm right now. Lu Sheng's eyes were filled with admiration and shock. He had never thought that Ning Fan would be bestowed the ancestral blood during his second blood awakening realm. How terrifying would his bloodline be during his third blood awakening realm? This drop of ancestral blood not only increased Ning Fan's demonic power, but also increased the density of his bloodline from 305 levels to 1305 levels. Once his bloodline surpassed 1,000 levels, it would be the royal bloodline. Those who could awaken their royal bloodline during their third blood awakening realm would be considered as peerless demons. In the history of the demon race, there had never been anyone who could awaken their royal bloodline during their second blood awakening realm. In the prefecture of the Pure Fire tribe, Wang Xiao and the other 9 Heaven Realm demon generals were shocked. Second blood awakening realm? A royal true spirit. Although I don't know what kind of true spirit the Fu Li beast is, and whether it's strong or weak, this man actually became a royal true spirit after his second blood awakening realm. There was no one who could awaken a royal true spirit in the second world. In other words, Ning Fan's demon blood was ranked first in the second world. This is impossible. Li Tong crushed the wine cup in his hand. He did not believe that Liu Bei, who was called trash by the titled demon general of the Pure Fire tribe, was an existence that he could only look up to. A royal true spirit. Chapter 250. In the Lai Tu tribe, an order for arrest was spread across the land of deep sleep. The one who kills Liu Bei will be rewarded with 100 million immortal jades. There was no need to explain who Liu Bei was or why Tu Jiang was afraid of him. The reward of 100 million immortal jades was enough to tempt a void refinement realm expert. Of course, the prerequisite was that there must be a void refinement realm expert in this place. The attitude of the Luoyun tribe was even more subtle. Cloud General Liu Daochen had issued 12 golden orders, ordering Lu Sheng to escort Liu Bei to the Du County to participate in the Demon General examination. An early nascent soul realm expert with the true blood of the royal family. There was a reward of 100 million immortal jades for killing him. Naturally, many nascent soul realm demon soldiers sneaked into the northern desert in an attempt to assassinate Liu Bei. However, it had been a month since the awakening of his demon blood. Liu Bei seemed to have disappeared without a trace. He had hidden everything. He was in the Yuan Yao world, stabilizing his demon power. Beside him was the female corpse and stone warrior, protecting him. In the formation, a little girl was suppressing her cultivation base with great effort. At the same time, She was secretly shocked by the aura of the young man in front of her. She was Yulinkong. She was the supreme of the internal sea. Her primordial spirit was reborn because of the mystery of the full moon technique. However, her cultivation base was sealed in her sea of consciousness, showing signs of collapsing at any time. She needed a male cauldron to pluck her energy to channel the flood of magical power that was accumulating in her sea of consciousness. Ning Fan was her only choice. Young man, I have been thinking about it for a long time. That thing. Her face was filled with displeasure as she clenched her teeth. Sorry, I don't have time to dual cultivate with you. Ning Fan stood up, stretched his body and smiled. He wasn't in a hurry. The more Yulinkong's cultivation base was on the verge of collapse, the more benefits he could obtain when plucking her energy. Now that he was stronger than her, and he was in the land of demon spirits, he wasn't in a hurry to pluck human cauldrons to increase his cultivation base. Yulinkong was a little girl with no chest and butt. She had no value in dual cultivating with him in a short period of time. I am begging you, how dare you? How dare you reject me? Be my cauldron and give me the divine space island. Ning Fan demanded an exorbitant price. Don't even think about it. How noble am I? Being able to do it with you once is already your fortune. If it wasn't for the fact that Granny would die if she didn't dual cultivate, do you think Granny would take a fancy to your skinny body? Is that so? What I want to say is that the dignified supreme of the internal sea, Yulinkong, is actually a virgin. If I were to perform dual cultivation with you who is still a virgin, even though I know that you are an old monster, I would still feel guilty. You are too young. The little girl was enraged. Her sea of knowledge immediately hurt, and her magic power was on the verge of collapse. Her face turned pale, and she suppressed her anger. She thought to herself that Ning Fan was a vicious brat. He purposely said those words to provoke her in order to disrupt her state of mind and accelerate the collapse of her sea of consciousness. What Yulinkong couldn't accept the most was how this spoiled brat's aura had become so much stronger in just half a year. Demon power. This stinky brat is still cultivating the demon power? But his demon power is actually above 7,000 units. Yulinkong firmly believed that this brat didn't have 7,000 units of demon power when they were confronting each other in the past. In other words, this person had gained 7,000 units of chi in half a year. This was unbelievable. Besides, this demon power wasn't forcefully increased by external objects. It was the awakening and evolution of his bloodline that promoted the growth of his demon power. In the internal sea, there were many forces of the demon race, such as the demon sealing sect. Yulinkong never stepped out of her house, but she knew 9% of the world's events and 3% of the world's foresight. However, even the demon venerables of the demon sealing sect definitely weren't as powerful as this little brat in front of her. What kind of demon blood is this? Fortunately, I'm not a demon. Otherwise, even if I'm a half-step void refinement realm cultivator, my aura would still be inferior when standing next to Ning Fan. Putting aside his demon power and demon blood, this little brat's aura definitely has the strength of a late divine transformation realm cultivator. His aura is comparable to a late divine transformation realm cultivator, even though he hasn't reached the divine transformation realm. If this were to spread out, it would be too ridiculous. Moreover, his aura, which had no offensive power, seemed to have an additional murderous chi which was enough to injure people. Baleful chi. This brat has already killed a divine transformation realm cultivator. The little girl's eyes flashed and she clenched her fists. Since he can kill a divine transformation realm cultivator, this person most likely also has some means to deal with me. This person imprisoned me in this place. He was waiting for the moment when I couldn't bear it anymore so that I could seek his pleasure. At that time, I would have no choice but to agree to all of his requests. Humph. Considering that your bone age is still young, this grandma won't get angry with you. Yulinkong had learned her lesson. She mustn't get angry because that would only make Ning Fan satisfied. She squeezed out a somewhat ugly smile, and then closed her eyes to meditate. She is indeed a heroine. I'm afraid it will be difficult to infuriate her now that I've aroused her vigilance. By performing dual cultivation with her, I can absorb her excess magic power. When I've channeled part of her magic power, she will withdraw the remaining magic power on her own. At that time, she will at least recover to the mid-divine transformation realm, or even the late divine transformation realm. It's difficult to trap her in my palm and absorb the most magic power. But I have patience. I will wait for her moon consciousness to collapse. Ning Fan rubbed the female corpse's hair. His eyes were filled with guilt, not only because he had neglected her for a long time, but also because he couldn't bear to kill Mu Xiaohuan and reconstruct her soul. I'm sorry. You still have to stay in the cauldron ring for a few more days. Oh. The female corpse seemed to be a little disappointed. But she will accompany you. Her name is Mu Xiaohuan. Ning Fan shook his cauldron ring and summoned Little Stutterer. When the two women saw each other, they seemed to have an innate good impression of each other. It was as natural as the meeting between Ji He and Si Wuxia. You two get along well with each other. With a flash of world power, Ning Fan appeared in his room. It had been a month since he disappeared. As soon as he appeared, he heard a woman's light breathing sound on his bed. She was sound asleep. It was a purple-robed woman with a child's face and huge breasts. She looked like a little fox curled up on Ning Fan's bed. This Luan heir is really bold. She actually dared to sleep on my bed as a woman. If I'm a little more beastly, she will definitely lose her virginity, Ning Fan teased. He covered the woman with a thin blanket and sat cross-legged beside the bed. The demon star in his left eye turned purplish-black, giving it an additional ability. It was the innate ability of the Fuli race. See-through illusions. With this eyesight, anyone whose cultivation base was lower than Ning Fan's could easily see through his concealment and break through his illusory formation and fog. However, it was difficult for him to increase his demon power after reaching 7,455 points. The fastest way to increase his demon power was to obtain the Jade Flame Grass and consume the golden blood of the demon commander. If he completed all of these, his demon power would definitely reach 10,000 units. At that time, it would be the time for him to break through to the divine transformation realm. In order to break through to the divine transformation realm, I need to prepare some pills. Before reaching the Luoyun County, it's already difficult to increase my cultivation base. In this world, why don't I concoct the facial restoration pill for the Tea Lady and the Wind Lady as a reward for their loyalty? As for the 5 revolution pill that can increase the chances of breaking through to the divine transformation realm, I have obtained 2 types of pills from the scripture tower. One of them is the general breaking pill, and the other is the profound blood pill. Both of them can increase the chances of breaking through to the divine transformation realm by 10%. As for the separation and reunion pill, even though it can only be used by divine transformation realm cultivators of the human race, it can also be used by demons. However, its medicinal effect will be reduced by half. With this, my chances of breaking through to the divine transformation realm will be increased by a lot. The only thing missing is the cultivation technique of the demon race. The Mountain Tea scripture can't be used to break through to the divine transformation realm. However, I have obtained many divine abilities and cultivation techniques of the Fuli clan from that drop of ancestral blood. I don't need to specially cultivate them since they are the memories of the ancestral blood. I just need to familiarize myself with them. This cultivation technique is called the Fuli Devouring Shadow. It is a demonic cultivation technique that mainly uses escape techniques and illusion techniques. With my current demon power and the blood of the royal family, the shadow smoke technique that I cast is comparable to the divine transformation realm teleportation technique. Who is it? The purple star in Ning Fan's left eye flashed. He saw a skinny figure hiding outside the door. He was an early divine transformation realm cultivator. Perhaps he did not expect that Ning Fan would see through his concealment. The early divine transformation realm cultivator was surprised. He immediately turned into a cloud of demon smoke and escaped 10,000 li. Trying to run. Ning Fan sneered and took a step forward. His body turned into a cloud of purple smoke. With a single step he also moved 10,000 li. In terms of speed, he was even faster than the early divine transformation realm cultivator. The divine transformation realm cultivator, who was hiding, had already stopped. However, he did not expect that Ning Fan's speed would be so fast even though he was not a divine transformation realm cultivator. Feeling surprised, he shook his body again and teleported 10,000 li. However, the direction he was running in was getting more and more remote. After traveling for hundreds of thousands of li, he stopped in a valley and turned around to look at Ningfan while panting heavily. He saw Ningfan's figure moving like a ghost. Every step he took was like a leisurely stroll in the courtyard. However, he could cross 10,000 li with just a single step. The mysterious man was waiting for Ningfan to approach him. However, when Ningfan's eyes fell on the valley, he immediately saw through him. Instead of advancing, he retreated and sneered. I was wondering who it was. It turned out to be Demon General Jing Yin of the Pure Fire tribe. Under the blood moon, the mysterious man in front of Ningfan dispersed his concealment and turned into a burly man wearing a beast armor. Ningfan had seen this burly man in Liu Bei's memories before. He was the demon general who had defected to the Pure Fire tribe. Jing Yun's concealment was first seen through by Ningfan. Then he was overtaken by Ningfan's movement technique. Now, as Ningfan was approaching him, he felt a sense of oppression that was as heavy as Mount Tai. Inwardly, he praised Ningfan inwardly. Ningfan was indeed worthy of being the true bloodline of the royal family. What a strong sense of oppression! Jing Yin immediately sneered. The Liu Bei he knew was definitely a mediocre individual, regardless of whether it was his aptitude or wisdom. Sure enough, you aren't Liu Bei. I'm afraid Lord Fire General's guess is correct. I don't know what you are talking about. Ningfan's expression remained unchanged. Due to the awakening of his royal bloodline, there were plenty of people who doubted his identity. However, the current Ningfan did not need to explain his true identity to the people of the Luoyun tribe at all. He only needed to prove two things. Firstly, he was a member of the demon race. Secondly, he was loyal to the Luoyun tribe. With the help of the vast plains, these two things were self-evident. Therefore, even if Ningfan was not Liu Bei, Liu Daochen, the Cloud General, would still turn a blind eye to him. However, these words could not scare Ningfan. Since fellow Taoist doesn't understand, then I'm just talking nonsense. Brother Liu Bei, why don't we go to the valley and talk about something important? Lord Fire General has a new mission for you. Jing Yun's expression was polite, but Ningfan just sneered. I'm not a 3-year-old child. Why would I enter the valley when I know that there is a high-grade divine transformation realm formation, and nearly 100 nascent soul realm cultivators? Demon General Jing Yun, do you think I'm a fool? Brother Liu, you misunderstood me. Jing Yun wore an awkward expression. Inwardly, he thought that Liu Bei's eyes were really sharp. He could even see through a high-grade divine transformation realm formation that was deliberately concealed. As such, I'm afraid I can't use force to obtain this person's royal true spirit blood. Fine. I'll just inform the Fire General first. As for this person's blood, I'll plan to get it after the mission is over. Ningfan craved for the blood of the Demon General. His royal blood was desired by countless spirit-severing realm experts. This is the mission Jade Slip of Lord Fire General. After you read it and obtain the items behind it, you can join my Pure Fire tribe with this contribution. You can even be conferred the title of Demon General of Southern Brilliance City. Jing Yun sent out a ray of fiery light which turned into a red jade slip and flew towards Ningfan. This ray of fiery light was comparable to a spirit-severing realm attack. However, Ningfan blocked it with a wave of his sleeve. After receiving the jade slip, he directly asked for the reward without even looking at it. I want 100 stalks of 10,000 years old jade flame grass. This is fine. But you better read the mission first. When this mission is completed, I will bring the things you want to find you in the Luoyun County. I'll look at the mission whenever I want. You don't have to worry about me. Farewell. Ningfan did not bother to be polite. He took a step forward and turned into a smoke shadow, flying away into the sky. After he left, Jing Yun's expression immediately sank. With a wave of his hand, nearly 100 nascent soul realm experts who were hiding in the valley appeared one after another. This kid is so cautious and arrogant. Did he forget the respect he had for me in the past? How dare he be so rude? Humph. He didn't even look at the mission, and he dares to ask for the reward. However, this kid really saw through it. The value of this mission is not something that 100 stalks of 10,000 years old jade flame grass could compare to. But what does this kid want the jade flame grass for? Forget it. I'll leave this matter to the titled demon general. In the general's mansion outside the room, Ning Fan sneered. He touched his glabella and summoned the Separation Slayer sword. He slashed at the jade slip. After the Separation Slayer sword hit the fiery red jade slip, it immediately made a buzzing sound. Then, a fiery red demon sense was burned into nothingness. That fiery red demon sense was the attack of a late spirit severing fire general. It was not meant to kill Ning Fan. Instead, it was meant to break through Ning Fan's body when he was careless and plant a demon seal in his body to control him. There were two reasons for this. Firstly, it was because of Ning Fan's true blood. Secondly, it was to ensure that the mission was completed. This was the reason why Ning Fan did not speak much to Jing Yun and greeted him. There was no need to be courteous since they did not come with good intentions. However, the Pure Fire Division had underestimated Ning Fan too much. This kind of method was not enough to take Ning Fan down. After the fiery sense was destroyed, the jade slip slowly turned colorless. Ning Fan scanned through it with his spirit sense. The mission was to get close to Cloud General Lu Daochen and steal the beast skin ancient scroll of the 9 worlds. Even the places where the ancient scroll could be hidden were marked one by one. Interesting. Even though this Pure Fire Division doesn't have much meaning in befriending me, I didn't expect them to send me the information of the 9 worlds. Besides, if I was a little slower, that Jing Yun would certainly bring some jade flame grass to urge me. Knowing that coercion would not work, he would try to entice me with benefits. The benefits of the benefits could be 50 tufts of jade flame grass or 30 tufts of jade flame grass in advance. Unfortunately, they don't know that I only need 10 tufts of jade flame grass. It's likely that he has already guessed that I am not Liu Bei. The demon sense he used to attack me was not drawn from his sea of consciousness, but formed using demonic techniques. He must have considered that I might be able to eliminate the demon sense of a late spirit severing realm expert. Since he could guess that, the Luoyun division might not be able to guess it too. However, judging from his current attitude, Lu Daochen doesn't have any ill intentions towards me. He even seems to have the intention of befriending me. Whether I am Liu Bei or not is not the key. The key is whether I can benefit the Luoyun division or not. Ning Fan muttered to himself. Then he used his gray flames to burn the jade slip. Then he pushed open the door and entered the room. He was still waiting for Lu Wanner to wake up beside the bed. Since this lady was waiting for him here, perhaps she had something to say. At dawn, a swallow flew past the curtains. Lu Wanner rubbed her sleepy eyes and stretched her body. Her hair was messy and she pushed the quilt to get up. However, when she yawned lazily just now, her thin robe slid down her shoulders, revealing her voluptuous figure under her tube top. At this moment, she realized that Ning Fan's eyes were looking at her. Immediately, she lost all her sleepiness and screamed. Yeah. Liu Bei, why you're shameless? How am I shameless? Did I kiss you or touch you? Miss Wanner, you seem to have helped me change my clothes. Even after looking at my entire body, I didn't blush at all. If we're talking about being taken advantage of, I'm afraid I have never taken advantage of Miss Wanner. Instead, Miss Wanner has taken advantage of me quite a lot. You. Lu Wanner was embarrassed and angry. However, when she saw Ning Fan's lazy eyes, she burst out laughing. It turned out that even if Liu Bei didn't pretend to be a playboy, he would still cry and laugh. She thought that he only knew how to kill people. Miss Wanner, you stayed in my room every night. I think you have something to say. Yes, I heard from brother that you were summoned by the master to participate in the demon general examination. I want to go with you, but I'm afraid that you will reject me. Besides, I haven't been to the capital county for a long time. I haven't met master yet. Even if I miss him, brother is guarding the border town and doesn't allow me to wander around. The demon general can't leave without permission. Brother was ordered by General Yun to escort you to the capital county, but I have to stay behind to guard the northern desert city. I want to go to the northern desert. Once the Yin Yang locket was activated, he could see through her thoughts. Since she wanted to go to the northern desert, there was no harm in bringing her along. It could also be considered as repaying the favor of the pill. I heard that Miss Wan is the #1 spirit augmentation master in the northern desert city? Ning Fan changed the topic. Yes, my art of spiritual adhesion has reached the Earth-Xian realm. I learned it from the headmaster. The headmaster's cultivation is not the best among the 9 titled demon generals, but he is very knowledgeable. His art of spiritual adhesion and art of alchemy have both reached an extremely high level. When it came to the spirit augmentation technique, Lu Wan'er suddenly forgot about her shyness. If that's the case, I have a magical treasure that needs spirit augmentation. I wonder if Miss Wan is willing to travel with me to the capital county. Of course, if Miss Wan is willing, I will persuade your brother to stay behind to guard the northern desert. After all, there is no demon general guarding the northern desert. Once the Lai Tu tribe invades, the consequences will be unimaginable. But I wonder if Wan is willing. I am willing. No, I am willing to help you spirit augment your magical treasure. Lu Wan'er's face reddened, but her heart was beating wildly. Liu Bei called her Wan. The morning light shone into the room. Among the cultivators, there were many famous experts who were not afraid of killing, becoming a devil, or fighting against the world. What they were most afraid of was having entanglements with women. They were either worried that they would lose their primordial young body or consider themselves as emotionless, but in fact, they were avoiding the test of love. The test of love was the test of a cultivator's state of mind. Ning Fan was not afraid of love because he dared to love and hate. He did not sever his emotions for the sake of the devil. Instead, he became a devil because of his emotions. If he gave up on his emotions, he would not be able to cultivate this devil anymore. Spirit severing and devil severing were only 2 different words. In fact, it was the difference between the heartless Tao and the emotional Tao. Ning Fan faced the test of love that cultivators were most afraid of. With such a state of mind, it was not difficult for him to become a devil. This woman is a good spirit augmentation master. The spirit-shattering whip suction divine ability, please this woman. Along the way, I will let the separation slayer sword break through the ranks of profound heavenly spiritual treasures. Chapter 251. In the northern desert city, a streak of golden light flashed by, traveling thousands of miles in an instant. Anyone with good eyesight would be able to tell that this golden light was actually a golden chariot with a speed comparable to a half-step soul formation realm cultivator. This chariot was made entirely of golden demon flames, and it was dazzling in gold and jade. The person controlling this chariot had to be at least a grand cultivator, and they also had to have extremely high control over flames. The only 4th Revolution Pill Master in Northern Desert City was sent by Lu Sheng to drive the carriage for Ning Fan. On both sides of the carriage, there were 41 Northern Desert Demon soldiers, including Yao Yuan, guarding it. What a golden flame chariot! Ning Fan praised. His words contained the prestige of a royal true spirit. However, it made all the experts of the demon race lower their heads at the same time. Their eyes were filled with an irresistible reverence. A royal demon of the true spirit tribe. In the face of such a demon king, unless one's cultivation was far superior or they had the same king bloodline, one would not be able to remain calm. Greetings, General Bei. General Bei. The demon general assessment has yet to be concluded. It's too early to talk about this title. Ning Fan waved his hand disapprovingly. He turned around and looked at the heavens path behind him. His eyes turned cold without a trace. It seems like there are a lot of flies that want to take my life. 100 million immortal jades and royal clan's true blood are very tempting. Ning Fan didn't think much of it. He stepped into the carriage. These assassins were courting death. From the outside, the carriage did not look very big. However, when one stepped inside, it suddenly opened up into a world of golden flames, with countless palaces and pavilions. The golden flame chariot was a heavenly abode magical treasure. It was gifted by Lu Sheng on behalf of the titled demon general. Because it was a heaven's grotto heaven magical treasure, the space here was flawed. While people could enter, they could not cultivate. This treasure was crafted by Cloud General Lu Daochen. In terms of talent, Lu Daochen was probably on par with Patriarch Dongxiu. If Ning Fan was not mistaken, this golden flame chariot seemed to be the chariot of the ancient heavenly court. Ancient heavenly court, Demon Commander Lu Wu, Cloud General Lu Daochen. Although this place is not connected to the ancient heavenly court, it seems to have some connection. Lu Daochen might be hinting at something by giving me this carriage. If I enter the prefecture, I'll know about this. Although I can't cultivate here, I can concoct pills. When Ning Fan stepped into the Golden Flame Palace, he did not immediately go to the pill refinement room. Instead, he went to the Spirit Augmentation Pavilion first. The Spirit Attachment Technique was passed on to the Yao clan, and the Inscription Technique was passed on to the Devil clan. As the younger sister of the Demon General, Lu Wanner had caught the eye of Yin Jiang since she was young. Yin Jiang took her in and taught her the art of spirit attachment. Furthermore, as an Earth Xian Spirit Augmentation Master, this woman had once created a set of Earth Xian middle-grade spirit equipment among the 9 divisions. She was considered a rather famous spirit augmentation master. The reason why she had left the prefecture and bid farewell to her master seemed to be due to some complicated reasons. Ning Fan pushed the door open and saw Lu Wanner squatting in front of the smelting furnace. Her face was covered in dirt while she was fiddling with the fire. She had been attentively adjusting the temperature of the fire for several days. Because this spirit attachment was for Ning Fan's, she had to be more attentive than before. Sensing Ning Fan's arrival, Lu Wanner let out a cry of surprise. She hurriedly wiped her face with a handkerchief and rose to her feet to welcome him. After squatting for several days, his legs were already numb. He staggered and fell down. A smoky shadow flashed by. Ning Fan took a step forward and held Lu Wanner. Wanner, you've worked hard. People say that women dress up for those who love them. Wanner, you've ruined your appearance. Could it be that you hate me? Bah, I have been busy attaching my spirit to you for several days, and you are still making fun of me. Lu Wanner's wrist was held by Ning Fan, but she could not break free from his grip. Thus, she simply let him hold her. She wanted to wipe her face with a handkerchief, but she realized that the handkerchief was already in Ning Fan's hand. I'll help you. He smiled calmly and gently wiped away the dust on Lu Wanner's face. Lu Wanner was flustered and hurriedly said, "You're already a royal true spirit. As a member of the royal true spirit race, if the future ascendants of the true spirit race find out about this, they will definitely punish you." The hierarchy of the demon race was stricter than that of the human race. From the classification of nascent soul realm soldiers, divine transformation realm generals, void refinement realm generals and void fragmentation realm sovereigns, it could be seen that the demon race attached great importance to bloodlines. They placed great importance on dividing demons into different grades and ranks. Ning Fan had awakened his blood for the second time, and became a member of the royal family. 3 blood awakenings could even go one step above the royal bloodline. Such a person was not someone that Lu Wanner could afford to associate with. This was the value system of the demon race. I'm a member of the royal true spirit race. However, I'm afraid that even if I ascend to the demon spirit land, no one will welcome me and punish me. Ning Fan smiled bitterly. The Fuli royal clan might look glamorous on the outside, but in reality, this large clan known as the true spirit race had been annihilated countless years ago. Ning Fan had no idea why it was annihilated. He also had no idea why it was cursed by the heavenly Tao. The only thing he knew was that his Fuli demon blood was indeed powerful, but he did not have any backing in the demon spirit land. Unlike the other royal bloodlines, if you touch a member of the royal bloodline, there would immediately be a supreme demon immortal who would stand up for you. No one knew what Fuli was. The Fuli blood that Ning Fan had awakened was something that many geniuses who could awaken their immemorial remnant bloodline regarded as a ghost. If this matter were to spread out, perhaps no one would be willing to snatch this ominous demon blood from Ning Fan anymore. Lu Wanner was unaware of all of this. However, her heart was filled with ripples. It was like the dream of countless young girls, hoping that they would be chosen by a prince. He was a member of the royal family. He was an outstanding demon who awakened his bloodline step by step to become a member of the royal family with the help of his thin demon blood. The more she thought about it, the less courage she had to confess to Ning Fan. He let go of Lu Wanner's wrist and returned the handkerchief to her. Then he stared at the metallurgy furnace with a strange look in his eyes. With his eyesight, he could tell that the metallurgy furnace in front of him was obviously different from what he saw in the outside world. The metallurgy furnace in the rain world could be used to refine magic treasures and spiritual equipment. The metallurgy furnace in front of him was only prepared for spiritual attachment. Countless characters of the demon race were engraved on it, causing the demonic power inside the furnace to be dense. Spiritual attachment was a secret technique of the demon race after all. The spiritual attachment of the human race was not as professional as the demon race. General Bei, I haven't asked you what kind of demon treasure you want to attach your spirit to. Do you have any suitable spiritual iron? If not, I do have a few types of spiritual transformation grade spiritual iron here. Lu Wanner remembered that when Liu Bei was in the northern desert, his natal demon treasure was an ancient green dagger axe. That dagger axe was not even a supreme grade one. It was just a high-grade spiritual transformation grade spiritual iron. It was a waste. However, if Lu Wanner wanted to attach her spirit to her lover, she would not mind even if it was a waste as long as her lover was happy. However, what surprised her was that Ning Fan did not take out the ancient green dagger axe. Instead, he touched his glabella with one of his fingers and drew out a blood-red lightning. Lu Wanner's beautiful eyes gradually turned serious. This blood-red lightning gave her an ominous feeling of deterrence. If she was not mistaken, this treasure should be a whip treasure. Besides, its quality seemed to have reached the high grade of supreme grade. Damn Liu Bei. He really hid it well. He actually didn't tell me about such a powerful whip treasure. Is he treating me as an outsider? Lu Wanner's eyes were slightly disappointed. However, after taking a closer look at the whip treasure, a hint of surprise gradually appeared in her eyes. The true form of this lightning is the dragon tendon of the immemorial lightning dragon. Liu Bei, did you kill the clansman of the immemorial lightning dragon? This is a great crime. How could you be so reckless? All of her small dissatisfaction turned into worry for Ning Fan at this moment. Her concern warmed Ning Fan's heart. He patted her head gently. Don't be afraid. I haven't killed him yet. I just extracted his dragon tendon. Even if I kill him, so what? So what if I extract the dragon tendon from a carp? So what if I kill Li Ban? He was not afraid, but Lu Wanner was. She looked at Ning Fan solemnly and instructed him like a housekeeper. Remember, never ever kill an immemorial lightning dragon. This true spirit clan holds grudges the most. However, after thinking about it carefully, Lu Wanner felt a little doubtful. This dragon tendon clearly belonged to a divine transformation realm demon general. However, there shouldn't be any immemorial lightning dragon with the cultivation base of a demon general in this place. Who did he extract this dragon tendon from? Moreover, this Liu Bei already has the strength to extract the dragon tendon of a demon general? She took the whip treasure from Ning Fan's hand. Immediately, her beautiful eyes were filled with disbelief. Then, a hint of passion gradually rose in her eyes. Immemorial. Immemorial star system. Is this an immemorial divine weapon? Lu Wanner's dream was to attach her spirit to an immemorial divine weapon. However, this item was too precious. Within the 9 divisions of the second world, no one had such a divine weapon. Unless one was a demon general from the demon spirit land of the heavenly demon world, who had awakened the immemorial demon veins and had a strong background, they would only be able to forge an immemorial divine weapon if they could get their hands on an immemorial star system. How did Liu Bei get his hands on an immemorial star system? Lu Wanner stood on her tiptoes and moved her face closer to Ning Fan. She was very, very close. Their breaths were on each other's faces. It was as if she wanted to see how many things Ning Fan was hiding from her. I can't see through him. I can't see through him. Holding the lightning whip in her hand, Lu Wanner studied it carefully. However, there was a hint of heartache in her eyes. Ning Fan asked. That trace of heartache did not escape his notice. Miss Wanner seems to have some opinions about the refinement of this spirit-shattering whip. The spirit-shattering whip. Shattering one's primordial spirit. What a domineering divine weapon. The craftsmanship of the person who created it is even more exquisite and peerless. Wan'er feels ashamed of her own inferiority. I really want to meet the senior who created this treasure. However, Lu Wan'er commented. But Ning Fan was stunned. After obtaining the memories of ancient chaos, his treasure refinement level was at least comparable to a void fragmentation realm old monster. It was quite appropriate for Lu Wan'er to describe such a high level of treasure refinement as exquisite and peerless. However, Lu Wan'er's sudden change of tone made Ning Fan faintly feel that something was amiss. He seemed to have overlooked something regarding the refinement of an immemorial divine weapon. But why didn't General Bei's spirit-shattering whip be strengthened with a spirit seal? Spirit seal. Ning Fan was surprised. Take out your real ancient dagger, and take a closer look. Lu Wan'er smiled proudly. Even though Ning Fan was strong, there were still things that he did not understand. Ning Fan patted his storage pouch, and took out Liu Bei's high-grade ancient dagger to study it carefully. This ancient dagger was just a high-grade ancient dagger. He did not pay attention to it at all before this. However, when he studied it carefully now, he faintly felt that this ancient dagger seemed to be a little special. Even though it was only a peak high-grade ancient dagger, its destructive power seemed to be slightly stronger than ordinary high-grade ancient daggers. Ordinary people would not be able to sense it. Only those who were proficient in the refinement technique would be able to sense it. Ning Fan did. It's here. Ning Fan pointed his finger at the tip of the ancient dagger, and channeled his demon power into it. At the tip of the dagger, 3 mysterious ancient demon runes slowly emerged. Ning Fan recognized these 3 demon runes as he had learned them in the scripture tower. The first rune was wind, the second rune was sharpness, and the third rune was speed. It was these 3 demon runes that made the ancient dagger slightly stronger than ordinary peak high-grade ancient treasures. So this is the spirit seal. Ning Fan's eyes lit up. Originally, he was curious why each of the demon runes was like a talisman formation, and he would need to read a thick book to learn a single word. Now he understood. It was because the demon runes could be used to refine treasures, augment spirits, set up formations, and kill people. The 3 ancient demon runes could be turned into spirit seals, which would increase the might of the ancient dagger by half. If there were 50 of them, this ancient dagger would be a supreme-grade treasure. If there were 100 of them, this ancient dagger would be a mid-grade supreme-grade treasure. If there were 10,000 spirit seals, this ancient dagger would be a profound heavenly spiritual treasure. So this is the treasure refinement technique of the demon race. When he thought about it carefully, the spirit seal technique seemed to be very similar to spirit augmentation. However, it did not use spiritual iron but demon runes. This was the treasure refinement technique of the ancient demon race. It was completely different from the human race. You can actually recognize the location of the spirit seal. Your treasure refinement technique is very high. Lu Wan'er stared at Ning Fan in surprise. If he is proficient in the treasure refinement technique, why doesn't he know the spirit seal technique of the ancient demon race? If he doesn't know the treasure refinement technique, why can he identify the location of the spirit seal technique with just a glance? I can't see through him. I can't see through him. In Lu Wan'er's eyes, Ning Fan was as mysterious as the starry sky. However, she did not know that the treasure refinement master that she longed to meet was right in front of her. Chapter 252. The hand seals of the spirit seals are all in this jade slip. It was personally written by Wan'er. If you want to learn it, take it. Lu Wan'er took out a jade slip from her storage pouch and handed it to Ning Fan. Her face immediately turned red when she accidentally touched Ning Fan's palm. She averted her gaze and tried to talk about something else. By the way, I wonder what kind of spirit iron General Bei wants to add to this whip. This piece. Ning Fan took out a piece of black spirit iron and passed it to Lu Wan'er. Her beautiful eyes flashed. Void Great Spirit Iron. Mortal Void Realm ability, absorption technique. Even titled demon generals don't have this grade of spirit iron, and you actually have it. How about it, Miss Wan'er? Do you have the confidence to add the absorption technique to this whip? This. Not a problem. Luwan Air pursed her lips. This spirit-shattering whip was already a high-grade supreme-grade spirit iron. It's not going to be easy to attach it to avoid grade spirit iron. She might have to spend a lot of effort to apply it on the whip. However, this was the only thing that Luwan Air could do for Ning Fan. She did not want to reject him. Even though 7 Apricot City's ink like water was attached to the sword, the Separation Slayer at that time was just a low-grade flying sword after all. The difficulty of attaching the spirit this time was definitely not comparable to the first time. Thank you. But don't force yourself too much. Magic treasures are dead objects after all. It's not worth it to damage yourself for a dead object. Ning Fan saw through Luwan Air's thoughts. He stroked her hair and left with a smile. Only Luwan Air was left beside the smelting furnace. Her face was burning hot. Holding the spirit-shattering whip, her heart became even more determined. It's not worth it or not. It's only whether I'm willing or not. In the pill refinement room, Ning Fan sat cross-legged on a cushion. However, he did not start concocting pills immediately. Instead, he touched his glabella and took out the Separation Slayer sword. Along the way, he had killed many people to sharpen his sword light. The Separation Slayer sword was barely a low-grade supreme-grade treasure. It was still far from reaching the mid-grade. A magic treasure of this grade could not harm a spirit-severing realm expert at all. Spirit-severing realm, immemorial demon veins. Ning Fan had a premonition that he would have to face many immemorial demons like Li Ban in the upcoming battle. If he didn't have a suitable immemorial divine weapon, he would be at a great disadvantage. The soul-shattering whip used very few immemorial stars. The only thing it was good at was its ability to shatter a soul. With the addition of the absorption ability, this treasure would definitely be able to absorb the enemy's magic power in between attacks. It was extraordinary, but the destructive power of the treasure itself wasn't high. The purpose of the whip was to bind, plot, and whip all living beings. The purpose of the sword was its sharpness. It could cut through thousands of images and illusions. The starlight sword shadow in Ning Fan's hand slowly rotated. After Ning Fan exerted his palm force, it turned into a long sword that looked like water. Separation Slayer, Separation Slayer. Your significance is the deepest and the heaviest. You are my first immemorial divine weapon. You are my first immemorial divine weapon. You are the weapon that I obtained after challenging fate for the first time. Ning Fan took out the jade slip and pressed it against his glabella. Immediately, a graceful female voice sounded in his divine sense, imparting the finger technique of the spirit seal. After a long time, Ning Fan put away the jade slip and looked at Separation Slayer with contemplative eyes. It wasn't difficult to learn the finger incantation of the spiritual seal. It was just a nascent level intermediate demonic art. What was difficult to learn was the ancient demon words that formed the spiritual seal. Each of the ancient demon words was a set of talisman formations that contained great divine power. The number of characters that Ning Fan had learned was only 200. Each spiritual seal was formed by combining the main demon words with a different number of secondary demon words. There were only 3 types of spiritual seals that could be completely combined from these 200 words. Firm, fire, sharpness. Firm spiritual seal could increase the defense of a magical treasure. Fire spiritual seal could increase the power of a magical treasure. Sharpness spiritual seal could increase the sharpness of a magical treasure. Ning Fan's eyes flashed. The most suitable thing for the Separation Slayer was its sharpness. The sword didn't need any fancy divine power or complicated manipulation methods. It only needed to be strong enough to slash the enemy. As if he had made up his mind, he immediately uttered a word and took out the Separation Slayer. He formed a hand seal and drew a few ancient demon words on the body of the sword. Sharpness spiritual seal was formed by the word sharpness and 11 secondary demon words. There was a total of 312 strokes. Ning Fan felt that this stroke of his had consumed 60 years' worth of demon power, and all of it had turned into the power of the spiritual seal. He thought to himself that this technique of attaching spiritual seals was really not done by mortals. A single word sharpness required 312 strokes. Only the nascent queen demon race who had at least 312 units of demon power would be able to inscribe such a spiritual seal on a magical treasure. Moreover, every time they inscribed a spiritual seal, they would need to rest for a long time and circulate their spiritual qi in order to fully recover their demon power. Ning Fan's fingertips were shaky. He failed after inscribing 97 strokes. He was silent for a moment, thinking about the finger technique, and immediately inscribed the seal again. This time, he inscribed a total of 276 strokes before he failed. He seemed to have understood something, and inscribed the seal again. The third time he succeeded. When the sharpness spiritual seal turned into mysterious patterns and attached to the body of the Separation Slayer, Ning Fan could clearly feel that the body of the Separation Slayer trembled. It was just the power of a single word, but it seemed to have added 60 years' worth of sword power to the Separation Slayer. Interesting. If I inscribe 10,000 sharpness spiritual seals on the Separation Slayer, this sword can be upgraded to a spiritual treasure. The sharpness of this sword is enough to break the void and kill a spirit-severing realm expert. Ning Fan took a deep breath. Traces of demon power turned into spiritual seals, and inscribed them on the Separation Slayer. 2-3. For Ning Fan's finger technique became more and more skillful. Of course, it was just the mastery of the word sharpness. After inscribing 24 spiritual seals, Ning Fan's demon power was exhausted. He exhaled a mouthful of turbid qi, and took out a pill to recover his demon power. One day later, his demon power was fully recovered, and he inscribed spiritual seals on the Separation Slayer again. 25, 26, 27. After inscribing 49 spiritual seals, his demon power was depleted. Ning Fan realized that the more spiritual seals he had, the harder it was to inscribe them. He took a pill to regulate his breathing. The next day, he inscribed spiritual seals again. Day after day, the golden flame chariot was on its way. The flies behind the chariot were tailing it. Lu Wan was attaching her spiritual treasure to her magical treasure, while Ning Fan was inscribing spiritual seals. On the 5th day, the number of spiritual seals reached 114, and the Separation Slayer broke through to the mid-supreme grade magical treasure. On the 14th day, the number of spiritual seals reached 328, and the Separation Slayer broke through to the high supreme grade. On the 65th day, the number of spiritual seals reached 1547, and the Separation Slayer broke through to the peak supreme grade. On the 154th day, the number of spiritual seals reached 7455, and the Separation Slayer became even sharper than the ordinary profound sky incomplete treasures. 5 months. For 5 whole months, Ning Fan had consumed all the recovery pills given by Su Rushan just to refine a single treasure. However, Ning Fan was barely able to inscribe the 7,456 spiritual seal. Even if he managed to inscribe it, it wasn't perfect. Presumably, it was because his demon power had only reached this realm. The inscribing of spiritual seals required the demon power of the person who inscribed it to be extraordinary. Ning Fan's eyes flashed as he looked at the starlight longsword in his palm. This sword was very sharp. After being strengthened by 7455 spiritual seals, this sword was even better than the ordinary profound sky incomplete treasures. Because only the word sharpness was inscribed on it, even the sharpness of a true spirit rank flying sword might not be comparable to the Separation Slayer. Just by placing it flat on his palm, the edge of the sword flashed with a sharp light, piercing through the hollow space, creating a crack. Ning Fan waved the Separation Slayer and made a gentle slash. The hollow space in front of him was cut open by an ordinary sword, separating into 2 sides. It was pitch black. What a sharp sword! With this sword, even if Yu Lingkong's physical body is at the 2nd level of the Jade Life realm, I can still break her defense with a single slash. If it was an ordinary cultivator, they would never just focus on increasing the sharpness of the flying sword and neglect the other factors such as speed, durability, and the ability to change their abilities. Ning Fan did not consider speed and abilities because the Separation Slayer was not a flying sword. He was also not worried that the Separation Slayer would break, because it was not sturdy enough. This was a sword that was completely refined from the immemorial star iron. It could be defeated, but it could not be broken. Ning Fan was extremely satisfied with the result of 5 months of inscribing. A dot of separation slayer turned into starlight and went back into his glabella. After scanning the area with his spirit sense, he found that Lu Wan'er was still attaching her spirit to the spirit-shattering whip after 5 whole months. Ning Fan frowned and felt slightly worried. Is attaching a void rank ability to a supreme grade treasure so difficult? He heaved a sigh of relief when he sensed that Lu Wan'er's aura was still present. In 5 months, the Golden Flame Chariot had flown 240 million miles away from northern Desert City. However, it was still 500 million miles away from the Luoyun prefecture. As such, he could only concoct pills for now and wait for Wan'er to come out of closed-door cultivation. Condense. In the pill refinement room, Ning Fan made a grabbing motion with his hand and 2 illusory pill cauldrons appeared. One was filled with moisture, while the other was filled with demonic energy. Cauldron of Divine Will. It was a necessary technique for a 5th revolution pill master. The first was the Cauldron of Rain Will, and the second was the Demonic Will of Demonic Mountain. The Mountain Devil intent was a few times stronger than the Rain intent. However, Ning Fan shook his head. With a point of his finger, the mountain cauldron was destroyed. Then, he stretched out his hand and the rain cauldron fell on top of the sea of golden flames. Although the mountain will was strong, its demonic nature was heavy. It was not suitable for alchemy. On the contrary, although the rain was weak, it was extremely nourishing, making it extremely suitable for crucible transformation realm alchemy. There were 4 types of 5th revolution pills that he needed to concoct. Appearance Restoration Pill, Separation and Reunion Pill, General Breakthrough Pill and Profound Blood Pill. Fortunately, all 4 of them were low-grade 5th revolution pills. With Ning Fan's current pill refinement technique, he was able to concoct them. However, this was his first time concocting a 5th revolution pill. Considering the need to accumulate experience and fail, Ning Fan did not start with the Appearance Restoration Pill. Instead, he started with the Separation and Reunion Pill, which had the most medicinal ingredients. The medicinal ingredients for this pill were enough to concoct it 11 times. Ning Fan allowed 10 failures. In order to reduce the time required to concoct each 5th revolution pill, Ning Fan waved his palm and took out the green wand flame. Now that he had 2 types of earth flames and 3 types of heavenly frost in his body, he no longer needed to look for a cold place to devour the earth flames. Because there was one more type of heavenly frost in his body, it was extremely cold. He needed the 3rd type of earth flame to balance the cold power. After devouring the green wand flame for half a month, Ning Fan's body remained motionless, as if he was meditating. Half a month later, his eyes opened and his aura force fluctuated. His magic power began to increase rapidly. With his current cultivation base, devouring the green wand flame was enough to convert 1/3 of its fire power into magic power. 675 units of magic power. After increasing it by 340 units, it reached 1,015 units. Improving his magic power was not his main goal. Thus, he did not refine the geocentric nether milk. His goal was to use the 3 types of earthly flames and 3 types of heavenly frost to form a gray yin-yang flame to refine pills. As such, his concoction speed was 6 times faster than an ordinary 5th revolution pill master. According to his estimation, even if he refined the separation and reunion pill, it would only take a month. Out of the 11 sets of medicinal ingredients, Ning Fan failed 8 times. On his 9th attempt, he concocted a half-finished pill. Instead of feeling disappointed, he was satisfied. After 9 attempts, he had a vague understanding of the concoction of a 5th revolution pill. There were 7 sets of ingredients for the general breakthrough pill, and he had failed twice. On his 3rd try, he had concocted a defective pill. He had only failed once to refine the mysterious blood pill. The 2nd time, he had directly refined a pill that barely passed. Finally, there was the face restoration pill. He failed once and concocted an incomplete pill. After 3 months of failure, Ning Fan had enough experience in concocting pills. He repeatedly pondered, and when he was confident enough, it was time to start refining pills. On the 4th month, the separation and reunion pill was formed. On the 5th month, the general breakthrough pill was formed. On the 6th month, the abstruse blood pill was formed. On the 8th month, 2 face restoration pills were formed. After 8 months of pill concoction, Ning Fan could finally become a qualified low-grade 5th revolution pill master. However, after 8 months of hard work, Ning Fan helplessly realized that the improvement in his pill concoction technique was negligible. If he wanted to raise his pill concoction technique to the intermediate grade, it would definitely be impossible without tens of years of hard work. There was less than a month left until he reached the province. Ning Fan kept the 5 pills and stretched his muscles. Sounds of bones colliding could be heard. Is this the so-called cultivation has no time? 5 months to refine treasures and 8 months to concoct pills. The life of a cultivator is really boring. The promise of 5 months has already passed. I wonder if Su Qiuling is worried about me. There are still 30 years left before the sword breaks in her body. Her life is temporarily fine. He did not immediately summon Feng Nu and Cha Nu to restore their appearance. The face restoration pill had to be taken along with a medicinal bath. As the 2 ladies were demons, there were a few types of spiritual herbs that needed to be replaced with demonic herbs. Fortunately, demonic herbs were not that rare, and could be easily bought in the province. He pushed the door open and scanned the surroundings with his spirit sense. Surprisingly, Luwan Air was still in seclusion. However, the fluctuations of magical treasures in the refinement room became more and more intense. Is it about to succeed? Ning Fan did not dare to enter the refinement room without permission in case he disturbed Luwan Air. However, after a few days, Ning Fan could faintly feel that Luwan Air's qi, which was originally normal, was rapidly weakening during the few days when the spirit attachment was about to succeed. Ning Fan's eyes darkened. How could he not know that Luwan Air was sacrificing her blood to the treasure at the last moment? The commotion in the refinement room gradually calmed down. The door opened and a pale and haggard lady in purple robes walked out. 1 year and 3 months of spirit attachment was a huge consumption for a mid-nascent soul realm cultivator like her. Not only did she attach the absorption ability to the spirit-shattering whip, she also attached the mortal void realm lightning spirit ability to increase the destructive power of the blood lightning nascent shattering whip. She did not have any mortal void realm spiritual iron. However, from the absorption of the spiritual iron, she could tell that Ning Fan's standards were too high, and he looked down on divine transformation realm spiritual iron. She only had 3 pieces of divine transformation realm, lightning spirit, spiritual iron. Thus, she used the secret technique passed down by Yin Jiang, spirit ascension technique. She sacrificed her own blood and extracted 3 traces of lightning spirit and fused them with her blood. Then, she forcefully ascended her spirit and attached the second divine ability to the mortal void realm. This divine ability was obscure and difficult to learn. The success rate was low and it would also harm her body. However, she did not care about it. With her spirit attachment technique, it was her first time using divine transformation realm spiritual iron to ascend her spirit to the mortal void realm. Moreover, it was her first time trying to attach a second divine ability to a spiritual equipment. That was why she wasted a year's time. She might as well succeed, however, because her body was too weak. She could not even maintain her human form. 4 white fox tails could be seen under her purple dress. She held the spirit-shattering whip, as if she was holding the most precious treasure. She pushed the door open and went out. However, she did not expect to see Ning Fan waiting outside. Why are you here? Luwan Air smiled sweetly and passed the spirit-shattering whip to Ning Fan, expecting him to praise her. However, Ning Fan's expression darkened, and he reprimanded her. Why are you so reckless? Didn't I tell you that magic treasures are just inanimate objects? It's not worth it to damage yourself for a magic treasure. In ancient times, there were cultivators who threw themselves into the furnace fire to refine Ganjiang and Mo swords. From Ning Fan's point of view, it was not worth it. Today, Luwan Air sacrificed her own blood and effort for the spirit attachment technique of the spirit-shattering whip. Luwan Air's heart ached. She sacrificed her own blood and effort just for Liu Bei's spirit attachment technique. In the end, what she got was not praise but reprimand. However, as soon as this feeling rose in her heart, it was instantly replaced by shyness. She let out a soft cry and helplessly realized that she was carried by Ning Fan and brought straight to the bedroom. Intentionally or unintentionally, Ning Fan's hand touched her fox tail, causing her delicate body to tremble and feel limp and powerless. Liu Bei, don't do it here. With my current body, I can't bear it. She begged. However, there was a hint of expectation in her heart. Bear it. Ning Fan was so angry that he laughed. When your body recovers, there will be a day where you can bear it. We'll talk about this in the future. Now your only task is to recuperate. Cultivate back the blood and effort that you've lost. If you don't replenish it in time, not only will it harm your lifespan, but it will also greatly affect your cultivation base. I'll bring you to rest. Ning Fan wrapped his arms around Lu Wan and hugged her even tighter. He took a step forward and turned into a wisp of smoke, appearing in the bedroom of the Golden Flame Palace. He took off his embroidered shoes, placed a soft mattress on the bed and covered it with a thin blanket. Lu Wan was like a shy little fox. She curled up in the blanket, revealing only her eyes. Half of her burning face was also hidden under the blanket. She was hugged by Ning Fan. Moreover, her fox tail, which was the most secret and sensitive part of her body, was touched by Ning Fan. When she thought about it carefully, she realized that the scolding that was originally filled with grievance was actually a sign of concern. Liu Bei is concerned about me. That's why he scolded me. He didn't even look at the magic treasures because he is concerned about me. Lu Wan's heart thumped wildly. Idiot. Idiot. He didn't even look at the two types of magic treasures that had the spirit attachment technique. But he only looked at an ugly girl like me. Idiot. Lu Wan scolded softly. Take this pill and rest for the time being. I will protect you. But you are not allowed to touch me when I am asleep. Lu Wan's eyelids became increasingly sleepy. She felt that Ning Fan's finger that was holding the pill went into her lips and touched her soft and moist tongue. She was a little embarrassed, but she did not resist. She gradually closed her eyes as she became more and more sleepy. Ning Fan looked at Lu Wan who was sleeping beside the bed and heaved a sigh of relief. If the silver blood pill is consumed in time, it shouldn't cause any damage to the heart. That's good. When he thought about how this girl sacrificed her own blood to give him the spirit attachment technique, Ning Fan closed his eyes and felt touched. From the beginning to the end, this girl had never revealed her thoughts to him. However, Ning Fan knew all of her thoughts and concerns. However, Lu Wan did not know about Ning Fan's concerns. If I tell you that I am not Liu Bei, will you regret it? He sighed and touched Lu Wan's cheek with his palm. At this moment, the golden flame chariot trembled slightly. This slight tremble made Ning Fan's eyes reveal a cold light. As they were approaching the prefecture, the flies that were tailing them became impatient. Since they could keep up with the speed of the golden flame chariot, these flies were not weak. 3 of them were spirit-severing realm chi. Ning Fan held the spirit-shattering whip in his hand and disappeared from the golden flame palace like a shadow. I will use these flies to test the power of my magic treasure. However, after taking a few steps, he suddenly stopped and looked at the spirit-shattering whip in disbelief. Chapter 253. Yao Yuan's face darkened. The golden flame chariot had traveled hundreds of millions of li, and it had already reached the hinterland of the Luoyun tribe. However, it had unexpectedly been ambushed here. To be able to follow behind the golden flame chariot and plot against it, he was definitely not a weakling. There were a total of 3 ambushers behind him, and Yao Yuan could not see through each of their auras. However, the powerful demonic aura caused Yao Yuan's heart to tremble. There was no mistaking it. The 3 people behind him were all spirit-severing demon generals. As the 3 of them approached, Yao Yuan recognized one of the demon generals. It was Bai Yuan from the Lai Tu tribe. The other 2 were also from the Lai Tu tribe. The Lai Tu tribe is really bold. They actually sent 3 demon generals to assassinate General Bai. Yao Yuan was infuriated. Bai Yuan and the other 2 had chased after the golden flame chariot for an entire year. Their patience was enough to show their determination to kill Liu Bei. The other side had 3 semi-god realm cultivators while they had no semi-god realm cultivators. Moreover, because this place was the hinterland of Luoyin, it was far away from the border guarded by the 7 generals of Luoyin. In fact, millions of miles away was a wasteland. There wasn't even a demon city to help. This place was truly the best place to ambush and kill them. Elder Yu, hurry up. Don't stop. If they catch up to us, we'll definitely die. And the alchemist surnamed Yu, who was controlling the carriage, complained bitterly in his heart. If he had known that it would be so dangerous to travel with Ning Fan, and that there would be 3 divine transformation realm experts intercepting and killing him, he would never have participated in this trip. However, there was no room for regret at this moment. The only thing he could do was run for his life. He did not think that Ning Fan could fight against 3 divine transformation realm experts. In fact, he did not even think that Ning Fan had the strength to fight against divine transformation realm experts. Even if Ning Fan possessed the royal bloodline, his cultivation base was only at the early nascent soul realm. Yao Yuan and the others had the same thought. The 3 demon generals chasing after the golden chariot had the same thought. The silver-armored fiend general Bai Yuan chased after the golden flame chariot with a sneer on his face. Liu Bei. That day, this person killed my destroyer peak guards and caused me to lose a battle. Wasn't he very arrogant? Wasn't he known as Luoyun's Liu Bei the murderer? How could he escape like a stray dog? Ridiculous. It's laughable that this man could actually awaken the royal true spirit bloodline. It's laughable that a titled demon general has offered a bounty of 100 million immortal jades to kill him. General Bai's words are incorrect. As a demon general, how can I question Lord Demon Sealer's judgment? If Lord Demon Sealer believes that this child's life is worth 100 million spirit stones, then he must be right. The one who spoke was a black-armored demon general. He was also an earth-splitting demon general, and his surname was Feng Ziki. This Feng Ziki did not get along with Bai Yuan. He used the title of a titled demon general to refute Bai Yuan. Bai Yuan's eyes darkened. He snorted coldly and did not refute. He turned his gaze towards the last golden-armored goblin general, and said with a respectful expression, "We've chased him for so long. This is the perfect place to kill him. I heard that General Su Ri has awakened his blood 3 times, and has condensed half a drop of the primordial fire phoenix's bloodline. He has a heaven-defying ability to restrain fire. General, please extinguish the fire and stop the carriage." And the golden-armored goblin general named Su Ri seemed to be a man of few words. His left eye flickered and a scarlet star appeared. With a point of his finger, the golden flame chariot, which was tens of thousands of li away, suddenly trembled. Then, the flames dispersed and were devoured by a fiery vortex that appeared out of nowhere. After the flames were extinguished, the golden flame chariot was nothing more than a crystal chariot. After losing its propulsion, its speed became slower and slower. Bai Yuan sneered. He patted his storage pouch and took out 6 3-inch silver nails. He tossed them into the air, and they turned into 6 rays of silver light that wrapped around the golden flame chariot. The golden flame chariot swayed once again, and was forced to a stop. Yao Yuan and the others on the chariot staggered and lost their balance. In just a breath's time, 3 demonic smoke surrounded the golden flame chariot from 3 directions. Yao Yuan's expression changed drastically. With the golden flame chariot stopped, how could they escape the pursuit of 3 demon generals with their weak strength? Knowing that death was inevitable, Yao Yuan took a step forward and glared at Bai Yuan. "General Bai, you're a demon general of the earth-splitting tribe. How dare you trespass into my Luoyin territory? Have you forgotten that the 9 demon tribes have agreed that demon generals are not allowed to trespass into the enemy's territory?" You're just a mid-nascent soul realm demon soldier. What right do you have to question me? The silver-armored Bai Yuan took a step forward. With this step, he exerted an oppressive aura as if he was stepping on Yao Yuan's mind. Immediately, Yao Yuan vomited blood and retreated. He raised his head and looked at Bai Yuan in disbelief. "I'm seriously injured. Is this the might of a spirit-severing realm demon general?" The might of a single step was something that a dignified 100 battles demon soldier, like me, couldn't withstand. Yao Yuan can die, but General Bei can't. Where are the soldiers? Kill. Under his command, the other 40 demon soldiers disregarded their lives and soared into the sky one by one. Even if they were afraid of the enemy, military orders must be obeyed. Bastards from the Luoyun territory are always arrogant. Even if there are 40 nascent soul realm demon soldiers, I have nothing to fear. Seeing Bai Yuan injuring a mid-nascent soul realm demon general with a single step, the black-armored Feng Ziqi's expression turned ugly. Although he, Feng Ziqi, was also a spirit-severing realm demon general, injuring a mid-nascent soul realm demon general with a single step was something he couldn't do. On the surface, Bai Yuan was punishing the enemy ants. But in the dark, he was demonstrating his strength to Feng Ziqi. Feng Ziqi couldn't accept this. Indeed, he didn't have the strength to injure someone with a single step. However, he had just obtained an incomplete heavenly profound treasure, which was extremely powerful. If he were to fight Bai Yuan to the death, his chances of winning were higher than Bai Yuan's. What's there to be proud of? Crouching tiger seal smash. Feng Ziqi took out a shiny black metal seal. The metal seal was covered with cracks, but when it soared into the sky, it caused the sky to tremble and a tiger's roar could be heard. It almost shattered the sky and revealed the void. On top of the metal seal, there were 1,096 demonic spiritual seals, which made the treasure's power shocking. Incomplete heavenly profound treasure. 1096 spiritual seals. Could this spiritual seal be planted by the number 1 spirit augmentation master of the earth-splitting realm? Bai Yuan couldn't help but be shocked. If the crouching tiger seal smashed towards him, he definitely wouldn't be able to withstand the power of the seal with his several incomplete heavenly profound treasures. Only a spirit augmentation master with a demonic spiritual power of 1096 units could inscribe 1096 spiritual seals. As everyone knew, the spirit augmentation technique was the hardest to learn. Other than Cloud General Lu Daochen, no one else could master the spirit augmentation technique and attain the spirit transformation realm at the same time. The best spirit augmentation master of the earth-splitting realm was only at the late nascent soul realm. Rumor had it that this spirit augmentation master had already stopped all spirit augmentation techniques and focused on cultivation, striving to break through to the peak nascent soul realm. Unexpectedly, he was able to perform spirit augmentation on Feng Ziqi, and even inscribe 1096 spiritual seals. An ordinary person wouldn't be able to inscribe so many spiritual seals without spending a few years. Why would that spirit augmentation master spend a few years in seclusion, just to inscribe a magical treasure for Feng Ziqi? This doesn't make sense. It seems like Feng Ziqi must have used some despicable means to force the spirit augmentation master to comply. I didn't expect this Feng Ziqi to have such a magical treasure. In this case, even if I exert my full strength, I might not be able to defeat Feng Ziqi. Seeing Bai Yuan's gloomy eyes, Feng Ziqi seemed to be extremely pleased. He laughed heartily. His tiger body shook, and he pointed his finger at the sky. The black seal immediately started to spin. Traces of heavenly spiritual energy were extracted from heaven and earth and entered the black seal, turning into an illusory black tiger shadow. Roar. With the strength of the black tiger's roar, the 40 nascent soul realm demon soldiers vomited blood and fell to the clouds. Following the appearance of the black tiger, the black seal immediately enlarged. 100 zhang, 1,000 zhang, 100 zhang. It was as if a black mountain was falling from the sky. Wherever it went, the void would collapse. The seal ruthlessly smashed towards the golden flame chariot. Pill Master Yu's face had already turned pale. As for Yao Yuan, he held his chest and gritted his teeth. Damn it. Damn it. I can die, but I have the military order to escort Liu Bei. If Liu Bei is injured, it will be a dereliction of duty and a disgrace. Even if I have to detonate my nascent soul, I have to protect the golden flame chariot. Yao Yuan's eyes became ruthless. He formed a demonic art and looked at the giant mountain above him with determination. However, at the next moment, a scene that he would never forget for the rest of his life appeared. The falling mountain covered the sky, causing rocks and soil to roll down. At the bottom of the mountain, A purplish-black smoke flashed and turned into a white-robed young man. The corner of the young man's mouth curled up into a cold smile. The blood-red whip in his hand lashed on the mountain. Break. The power of the whip did not break the mountain. However, the demon soul in the dantian of the owner of the treasure, Feng Ziki, was bombarded by countless nirvana blood lightning. Puff! He held his lower abdomen and retreated while spurting out blood. He found it hard to believe. The person who appeared out of nowhere and stopped the tiger-subduing seal was the target he wanted to kill, Liu Bei. However, he could not understand how an early nascent soul realm Liu Bei could stop the tiger-subduing seal. Not even Demon General Bai Yuan could withstand it. He could not understand what that blood-red lightning whip was. It actually blocked the tiger-subduing seal and strangely injured his demon soul in his dantian. Treasure extraction, nascent soul breaking. This place was not the Endless Sea. There was no Zhou clan here. It was Feng Ziki's first time seeing the secret technique of treasure extraction to attack the nascent soul. Moreover, Feng Ziki felt that he had lost a large amount of his demon power. After all, the grade of the tiger-subduing seal was higher. The spirit-breaking whip could not stop it at all. However, this was exactly what Ning Fan wanted. If one whip was not enough, he would whip 10 times. If 10 whip was not enough, he would whip 100 times. He held the blood-red lightning in his hand as if he was whipping an animal. Each whip carried a thunderous sound and landed on the tiger-subduing seal. After tens of lashes, the illusory black tiger let out a cry and collapsed. After losing the tiger spirit, the tiger-subduing seal trembled and withdrew from the illusory form of the magical treasure. Then it turned into a small black seal and landed on Ning Fan's palm. On the other hand, Feng Ziki's demon soul was heavily injured. He kept coughing out blood, and all of his demon power had been absorbed by the 100 whips. As expected, 100 whips are not enough to kill a demon general. The demon soul of a demon general is a spirit-severing realm primordial spirit. It is not as weak as a nascent soul realm demon general. However, I still managed to severely injure this demon. Moreover, this demon's demon power has been sucked dry. It will be hard for him to recover in a short period of time. If he doesn't have a body refining technique, he will be a cripple. The purple star in Ning Fan's left eye flashed, and he looked at Bai Yuan and the other two people. From the moment he appeared to the 100 whips, his actions were too fast. Bai Yuan and Su Ri could only see Ning Fan's appearance at this moment. Under the intense gaze of Ning Fan, Feng Ziki, who was originally suppressing his injuries, coughed out blood in horror. He could barely stand steadily. As for Bai Yuan, he took a few steps back before he could get rid of the strange aura. His heart was filled with fear and a hint of submission. This is the aura of a royal true spirit. Even I find it hard to calm my mind. When Ning Fan activated the purple star in his left eye, the golden-armored demon general also activated the half-star in his left eye. He tried to use the power of the Fire Phoenix to resist Ning Fan's Fuli aura. However, the Fire Phoenix blood he condensed was only half a drop. It was not even as good as Li Ban's. In front of Ning Fan's royal demon bloodline, he was simply looking for trouble by daring to resist the aura. Puff. Suri coughed out a mouthful of blood and took a few steps back. His immemorial incomplete bloodline could not withstand a single blow in front of Ning Fan's bloodline. Bai Yuan was stunned. Out of the 3 spirit-severing realm experts, 2 of them coughed out blood. Among them, Feng Ziki was strangely injured. Even Bai Yuan could not see how and why Feng Ziki got injured. He was Liu Bei, an early nascent soul realm ant. What exactly is going on? A mere early spirit-severing realm cultivator dares to block my way. At this moment, Ning Fan lifted his finger and formed a sword with his finger. The mountains within 10,000 li collapsed. One finger mountain crushing. Chapter 254. Tens of thousands of miles of mountains collapsed, and smoke rose in all directions. In the midst of the roar, it was like a hurricane that swept across thousands of miles of the wasteland, destroying the plants and trees. Bai Yuan took a few steps back in the midst of the hurricane, and finally steadied himself. As for Su Ri, he retreated 10 zhang. As for Feng Ziki, who had absorbed all of his demonic energy, he was almost blown away by the force of the finger. In a panic, Feng Ziki gritted his teeth and activated the 3 layers of low-grade earth profound spirit armor in front of his chest, barely blocking the force of the finger. However, Feng Ziqi's heart was filled with shock. The force of Ningfan's finger was definitely equivalent to the full force attack of an early spirit-severing cultivator. The moment the sword light shot out from the finger, Feng Ziki felt a chill in his heart, and a great sense of danger swept through his heart. The sword light shot out from Ningfan's fingertip and split into 3, each slashing towards the 3 generals. The speed of the 3 sword lights was unimaginably fast. As they neared the 3 generals, they turned into tens of thousands of sword silks, attacking all the blind spots of the 3 generals. Bai Yuan and Su Ri still had the strength to fight, but their faces were solemn. As for Feng Ziki, his scalp was numb, turning sword into silk. This technique was definitely the rare spirit-severing sword technique that was mastered by the spirit-severing sword cultivators. After turning into silk, the power of the sword would increase by at least a few times. Not good. Feng Ziki's 3 layers of spirit armor and the black general armor collapsed the moment they came in contact with the sword silks. The first layer shattered. The second layer shattered. The third layer shattered. Although the 4th layer of the black general armor did not shatter, it was full of cracks. The impact of the sword silk shook Feng Ziki's chest, causing him to spurt out a mouthful of dark blood. His injuries became more and more serious. Even his cultivation began to drop. Feng Ziki looked at Ningfan's resentment and fear. He was resentful because he, a dignified demon general, was injured to this extent by a nascent soul ant. He was afraid because if Ningfan's used another mountain-shattering finger on him, he would not be able to withstand it with his broken armor. Retreat! Retreat! General Bai, we must retreat quickly. Please send reinforcements to Lord Demon Sealer. Feng Ziqi said through clenched teeth. Even though Bai Yuan and Su Ri were shocked by the might of Ningfan's finger, their demon power was still intact. Thus, they were able to withstand the attack. However, because they had witnessed the power of Ningfan's lightning whip, the 2 generals did not dare to take them out even though they had broken profound heavenly treasures. Following Ningfan's finger, the purple sun was ignited with black flames. Second finger, sky shattering. The purple sun was shattered. A huge crack appeared in the sky where the purple sun was destroyed. Then the sky started to crumble along the crack. A ray of dark purple aurora shot out from the tip of Ningfan's finger. It turned into millions of dark purple sword silks and attacked the 3 generals. At this moment, Ningfan was standing on the peak of an illusory devil mountain, giving off an irresistible majesty. Bai Yuan's expression changed drastically. The power of this finger was too strong. It was strong enough to kill him instantly. He might as well use this finger to attack the 3 generals at the same time instead of sharing the burden with himself. In this way, there was still a chance for him to withstand the attack. Bai Yuan no longer cared about hiding his treasures. He took out a silver-white banner and waved it. The banner shone brightly and turned into millions of white lotuses. Tens of thousands of white lotuses stood in front of the sword silks. Every time a sword silks were neutralized, a white lotus would crumble. Every time a white lotus crumbled, Bai Yuan's demonic power would be depleted by 60 years. After consuming half of his demonic power, Bai Yuan could barely withstand 1/3 of the power of the sky-shattering finger. However, he was already terrified because he saw the silver-white banner breaking inch by inch after blocking the sword silks. A dignified profound sky incomplete treasure was actually destroyed by 1/3 of the power of the finger. If I am caught off guard and get hit by this finger, won't I die for sure? Bai Yuan's scalp went numb. As for Su Ri, he did not feel any better. He performed a hand seal and bit the tip of his tongue. His entire body turned into a 1,000-zhang fiery phoenix. Under the power of this Dharma idol, no matter how many sword silks pierced the phoenix's body, the wounds would be healed by the burning flames. The sword silks could not hurt Su Ri, but the Dharma idol's rebirth in flames consumed too much demonic power. In order to block the sword silks, he had consumed almost 1/3 of his demonic power. What made Su-ri even more incredulous was that the demonic intent contained in the sword silks was too overbearing. After piercing his body, it immediately turned into a demonic intent that disturbed his mind, causing the birth of inner demons. Demonic intent. It's not demonic intent. This Liu Bei is so strange. As a member of the demon race, he has comprehended demonic intent. Moreover, he comprehended it at the nascent soul realm. Su-ri's eyes were not calm at all. The second finger, sky-shattering finger, made Su-ri and Bai Yuan struggle to hold on, but it also crushed Feng Ziqi's body. Feng Ziqi's magical power was focused on magical treasures. His magical treasures were seized, his demonic power was drained, and his protective spiritual equipment was destroyed in the first exchange. With his damaged general armor, he could not withstand the power of the second finger. In desperation, he took out a golden jade token, clenched his teeth, and crushed it. The moment he crushed the jade token, his realm began to collapse, falling from the divine transformation realm to the nascent soul realm. However, a golden barrier rose around his body, blocking the sword silks one by one. Ancestral worship token. Sacrificing demon blood to the ancestors. Sacrificing one's realm in exchange for a life-saving ability bestowed by the ancestors. At this moment, Feng Ziqi was truly in despair. If he did not sacrifice his realm, he would definitely not be able to withstand the power of this finger. Given that he had lost his demonic power, and was almost a cripple. Being in the golden light and seeing the sword silks being devoured by the golden light, he felt slightly relieved. Once the golden light appeared, it could at least protect him for a few hours. Even a profound heavenly spiritual treasure could not break this golden light. During this period of time he was safe. Escape, I must escape. Before the golden light disappeared. After escaping, he would cultivate back to the divine transformation realm, and take revenge on Liu Bei again. Feng Ziqi's eyes were filled with unprecedented hatred. Using the power of the golden light, he tried to move. However, before he could move, a smoky figure took a step forward and appeared behind him. A palm pressed on the golden light. The tremendous force made Feng Ziqi unable to move. Then, a punch landed on the golden light. Boom! A loud explosion almost shattered the golden light. Feng Ziqi's eyes almost popped out of their sockets. It can't be wrong. It can't be wrong. Liu Bei's punch almost shattered the golden light of the ancestral token. The power of this punch is definitely Jade Life Realm. This person is definitely not a nascent soul realm ant. He is obviously a Jade Life Realm body cultivator, who is on the same level as us demon generals. Let me go. I swear on my heart devil that I will never find trouble with Brother Liu in the future. Even if you have a Jade Life Realm, you won't be able to break the barrier of the ancestral token. Do you really want to fight me to the death? Feng Ziqi forced himself to calm down, and said in a threatening manner. Noisy. Since he could not break the golden light barrier with a single punch, he naturally knew how hard the turtle shell summoned by the ancestral token was. However, it was not impossible for him to break this turtle shell. Ning Fan touched his glabella, and waved his separation slayer sword. The sharpness of the sword caused the void to crack wherever the sword light passed. The golden light was cut into two halves. The cut was as smooth as a mirror. Feng Ziqi's face was filled with disbelief. His physical body was also cut into two halves. His physical body was separated. It was his demon soul that was cut into two. After the demon soul, there was a black void crack that was 1,000 zhang long. Traces of black void wind blew at Ning Fan, making his long hair dance like a devil. I'll kill one first. Ning Fan opened his mouth and swallowed Feng Ziqi's demon corpse and dead soul, leaving only his head. His baleful qi became even stronger. He raised his head and glanced at Bai Yuan and Su-ri. Both of them had just withstood the second finger attack. Both of them were in a sorry state. Before Bai Yuan could catch his breath, he heard Feng Ziqi's wail. His eyes turned to the place where Feng Ziqi was cut. He looked at the void that was cut by the sword and met Ning Fan's eyes. His heart turned cold and his hair stood on end. Feng Ziqi is dead. He's dead. Even though his demon power was exhausted, he had a general armor and 3 layers of spiritual equipment to protect his body. His defense was as strong as a tortoise's. Moreover, he was bestowed an ancestral worshipping order by the demon lord. Before this, Fengziki had activated the ancestral worshipping order to protect himself. In exchange for a few hours of life, he had fallen from the spirit-severing realm. Even a profound heavenly spiritual treasure could not break the golden light barrier. Even a mid-spirit-severing realm cultivator would find it difficult to break it. However, such a sturdy golden light barrier was cut into pieces by Liu Bei's sword. That sword light was too sharp. It was something that Bai Yuan had never seen before in his life. He had never heard of anyone in the land of slumber who had a sword light that was sharp enough to cut the primordial spirit of a demon soul. Even after a demon general died, his demon soul could not escape, let alone have the chance to possess and reconstruct his physical body. What kind of sword is that? It was like a ray of starlight that floated around Ningfan's body. It was impossible to see his true appearance. Bai Yuan and Su Ri looked at each other and saw each other's intention to retreat. From the moment Fengziki's demon power was sucked away and he was severely injured for no reason, to the moment he used the ancestral worshipping order to protect his life, his demon soul was still cut into pieces. All of these strange events were enough to make Bai Yuan and Su Ri fearful of Ningfan. Moreover, Bai Yuan finally felt an absurd sense of crisis. Even if his remaining two demon generals attacked together, they would not be able to take down this nascent soul realm demon soldier in front of him. So this is Liu Bei. This kind of person can even put up a fight against a mid-spirit severing realm demon general. Retreat. The two generals looked at each other and nodded. Then they moved to the west and the east respectively. While retreating, Bai Yuan imitated Su Ri and summoned his demon blood avatar. It had a single horn, a pair of wings, 4 legs and a tail. Its white fur was so long that it touched the ground. It was also a beast with the remnant blood of the immemorial era, Bai Zai. In the eyes of the two demons, at least one of them would be safe while the other one had the avatar to protect him. Thus, it would not be difficult for him to escape. Trying to run. Don't you think it's too late? Freeze. Ningfan pointed his finger and displayed the heaven-freezing technique. Countless crimson blood threads pierced out from the two demon avatars, entangling them. The two dignified spirit-severing realm demon generals were all frozen by Ningfan's finger. With the current strength of my finger, it's enough to freeze an early spirit-severing realm demon. 3 breaths. He took a step forward and approached Bai Zai. He grabbed the Separation Slayer sword that was floating in front of him and slashed it down. This time, Bai Yuan finally saw through the reason why this sword was so unimaginably sharp. Countless of them. The sharpness word spirit seals on the Starlight Longsword were also innumerable. There were at least 7,000 of them. The sharpness of this sword was even stronger than a real spiritual treasure. I can't block it. Bai Zai's roar. At the critical moment, Bai Yuan shattered his laryngeal bone. At the cost of hurting himself, he let out a blood-red sound wave. He could not move and could only make a sound. However, this sound wave demonic technique was Bai Zai's innate ability. It burned the meager amount of Bai Zai's blood in exchange for power. It could only be used to protect one's life. Once it is used, the blood in one's body would become thinner and thinner, until it became ordinary demon blood. This sound wave was strong enough to injure ordinary demon generals. Even a 4th realm silver bone body refinement realm demon cultivator would be severely injured if they were not prepared. Bai Yuan only wanted to buy 3 breaths of time. After that, he would run for his life. However, when the blood-red sound wave reached Ningfan's body, it was blocked by his jade-colored astral spirit. The sound wave that was strong enough to injure a 4th realm silver bone refinement realm demon beast was unharmed to Ningfan. Astral spirit. You are a jade life realm cultivator. Ah. Bai Yuan let out a blood-curdling scream. His Thousand-Zhong avatar was cut into half and his demon soul was also shattered. However, Bai Yuan did not understand why Liu Bei, who was rumored to be an early nascent soul realm cultivator, was actually a jade life realm cultivator with 7,000 units of demon power, and an incomplete profound sky treasure with 7,000 spirit seals. The sharpness of his sword was comparable to a spiritual treasure. He died with hatred. At the place where he died, the sky was also split apart. Break! Ningfan pointed his finger and crushed the 1,000 zhang bai zai into blood mist. He opened his mouth and swallowed all of it. Similarly, only the head was left. He took a step forward and appeared in front of the fire phoenix. Similarly, he slashed down with his sword. The fire phoenix's demonic eyes widened in shock. From the moment it was frozen to the moment Bai Yuan died, only one breath had passed. This Liu Bei is really too heaven-defying. Not only did he kill Feng Ziki, who had exhausted all of his demon power, but he even killed Bai Yuan, who had transformed into his avatar. Moreover, he even resisted the power of Bai Zai's roar with his own body, Jade Life Realm. 7,000 units of demon power. A flying sword that is sharper than spiritual treasures. I must break free from the frozen body. If I can't break free from the frozen body, then I will commit suicide. The fire phoenix's demonic eyes flashed with ruthlessness and uttered a word. Break. As soon as the word was uttered, the fire phoenix self-destructed and turned into a wave of demon power that swept towards Ningfan. However, whenever the wave of fire reached Ningfan, he would immediately open his mouth and swallow it, turning it into nourishment for the yin-yang locket. The wave of fire returned and slowly condensed into another 1,000 zhang tall fire phoenix. Even though its qi was slightly weakened, it managed to break free from the frozen body. Ningfan's eyes lit up. According to the demon scripture, the immemorial fire phoenix can be reborn from the flames, while the immemorial lightning dragon can survive lightning attacks. Even though this person's bloodline is thin, he can still be reborn from the flames. Besides, it seems like ordinary magic treasures can't hurt him at all. Ningfan threw a punch, causing heaven and earth to tremble violently. However, when his punch landed on the fire phoenix, it missed. Then Su Ri's cold laughter resounded. Humph! I'm different from Bai Yuan and Feng Ziki. Even though I have only awakened half a drop of the fire phoenix's blood, I have comprehended the rebirth technique. With this fire phoenix true body, ordinary magic treasures and magic techniques can't hurt my illusory avatar at all. Even though you have the royal bloodline and your techniques are powerful, I'm not your opponent. However, you won't be able to kill me. Burn. As soon as the fire phoenix uttered a word, the area within 10,000 li turned into a sea of flames. The fire phoenix clan did not wish for the sea of flames to burn Ningfan to death. Instead, it only wished for the sea of flames to burn the primordial qi of heaven and earth, causing the primordial qi in this place to become chaotic and rendering the heaven sealing technique ineffective. That's good enough. The body of the fire phoenix turned into a ray of fiery light and was about to escape. However, its wings suddenly felt a sharp pain. They were known as cripples if they didn't speak. A soaring heaven realm expert could kill a divine transformation realm expert. As soon as Liu Bei entered the province and spread the news of him killing 3 divine transformation realm experts, the land of slumber would certainly be in an uproar. Keep this head and enter the province. If anyone dares to stop my chariot, I will show them my head. Yes, sir. After receiving the 3 bloody heads, Yao Yuan was overwhelmed with emotions. Not long ago, these 3 heads were insufferably arrogant divine transformation realm demon generals. But now they were already dead men's heads. Holding the heads, Yao Yuan could not calm down. He looked at Ningfan's back with excitement. This is what it means to be a strong expert. One day, I, Yao Yuan, will be like General Bei. I will kill people within 10 steps and behead them. My name will be known throughout the Luoyan tribe. After everyone recuperated, the golden flame chariot reignited its flames and went straight to the province. After entering the golden flame palace, Ningfan sat on the side of the bed and looked at Luwan, who was still in a deep sleep. All the flies are dead. The Earth General put a bounty of 30 million on me for killing the trap peak guards, and 100 million on me for awakening the king's blood. I wonder if the Earth General would still dare to place a bounty on me if he knows that I killed 3 generals alone. Does he still have the guts to do so? In the province of the Lai Tu tribe, the Earth General Bai Wuzuan was wearing a suit of silver armor and holding 2 silver balls in his hands. He was waiting for the 3 generals to report their success. by Yuan Fengziki and Su Ri have set off for more than a year. It's about time for them to get their hands on the royal true spirit? Humph. You're just a nascent soul realm junior. Don't you understand that a man's wealth will arouse his greed? I wonder if I can break through to the late divine transformation realm, in one go if I can refine his blood. Bai Wuzuan sneered. But at the next moment his eyes suddenly opened. He patted his storage pouch and took out 3 pieces of broken life jades. They're broken. They're broken. The life jades of the 3 divine transformation realm demon generals, by Yuan, Fengziki and Su Ri, were broken at the same time. Impossible. The 3 divine transformation realm experts were moving stealthily. Unless it's Lu Daochen himself, who else could kill them? According to the report, Lu Daochen is still in seclusion in the province of the Luoyin tribe. If it's not him, then who could it be? Could it be Liu Bei himself? When he thought of this possibility, Bai Wuzuan suddenly rose to his feet. His eyes were filled with astonishment. He saw half a damaged spirit seal on Su Ri's broken wing. It seemed that when Su Ri first awakened his blood 3 times and awakened half a drop of phoenix blood, he had done something stupid. On the wings, he would carve a spirit seal. But in the end he failed. Demon wings are not spirit equipment. The spirit equipment of the demon race can be branded with spirit seals to increase speed, but the demon wings and the demon body can't. Su Ri's failure was inevitable. Ning Fan held Su Ri's jade slip and pressed it against his glabella. Su Ri's words immediately resounded in his mind. This passage happened to be a record of Su Ri's experience when he tried to leave a spiritual mark on his wings. Today, I went through the capital scripture tower of the Lai Tu tribe to search for the possibility of engraving a spirit seal on the wings. Lord Demon Sealer said that spirit seals can only be used to engrave magic treasures and spiritual equipment, but not the body of a demon. This is the conclusion since ancient times. I don't believe it. I spent 200 years and went through 110,000 books in the capital scripture tower. Finally, I found an introduction about spirit seals. However, this introduction disappointed me. It was a damaged ancient book. It said that the demon race could carve a spirit seal on the body of a demon before the ancient times. However, something happened later on and the spirit of the demon race was taken away. Hence, they couldn't carve a spirit seal. Only a certain true spirit clan was able to see through the truth of the heavens and earth, because they specialized in cultivating their demonic eyes. They were able to avoid a calamity and their spirit was not taken away. However, because they had seen through the truth of the heavens and earth, that true spirit clan was cursed for generations and eventually went extinct. Today, I invited the number 1 spirit augmentation master of the Lai Tu tribe to perform spirit augmentation on my phoenix wings. I wanted to know if it was possible to carve a spirit on my fire phoenix wings. In the end I failed. Not only because of the excruciating pain, but also because the spirit seal couldn't be left in my bloodline. Master said that it was because we demons had lost our spirit. Just like how the devil race lost their blood, and the divine race lost their heart. No one knows what a spirit is. However, I had no choice but to give up on the idea of carving a spirit. These words made Ning Fan fall into silence. He kept the jade slip and pondered for a long time. This Su Ri didn't have many tricks up his sleeves. However, he was indeed a spirit-severing realm demon. He dared to try and was surprisingly patient. He clearly knew that the demon race couldn't carve a spirit seal on their body, but he still dared to do it. Moreover, he was willing to spend 200 years and go through all the demon scriptures in the capital scripture tower just for this attempt. This person's perseverance was truly great. No wonder he was the strongest among the 3 generals. Carving a spirit seal on the demon wings? If Su Ri didn't bring up this idea, Ning Fan was afraid that he wouldn't have thought of it. Ever since he obtained the spirit seal, he habitually thought that the spirit seal could only be used on magical treasures. However, after accidentally killing Su Ri and obtaining his jade slip, Ning Fan found out that the spirit seal wasn't carved on the spirit equipment in the first place. It was carved on the flesh of the demon race. However, due to the loss of their spirit, the demon race had no choice but to face an awkward situation. They needed to make up for their shortcomings. That was why they created the spirit equipment. The word spirit in the spirit equipment actually had a heaven-shaking meaning. Even the ancient demon clan might not know of this meaning, because too much time had passed far too long. Su-ri was a conscientious person. He thought of it and found out about it. His words made Ning Fan's eyes light up. He had a feeling that the only immemorial true spirit that retained its spirit was probably the Fu clan. This was his intuition. Ning Fan finally understood why a person like Su-ri, who seemed to be a man of few words, was willing to assassinate him. What he wanted was not the reward but the blood of the Fu clan. Su-ri guessed that the demon blood was probably the cursed demon blood that was recorded in the ancient scroll. Therefore, he came and he died. Could it be that the cursed true spirit mentioned in the Jade Slip is the Fu clan? If it is, then the future of the Fu clan's blood can be said to be immeasurable. Ning Fan's eyes were burning with passion. As soon as this speculation rose in his mind, it immediately went out of control. Since ancient times, there were quite a number of true spirit clans that had gone extinct. However, Ning Fan was not completely sure if the Fu clan was the only true spirit cursed by the heavenly Tao. However, if the true spirit clan that had penetrated the heavenly Tao was really the Fu clan, it meant that even though the Fu clan was cursed, they still retained their spirit. Moreover, the demon body and demon wings of the Fu clan could be carved with a spirit seal. Ning Fan wanted to give it a try. However, he still had a doubt in his heart. After awakening the Fu royal bloodline, Ning Fan had once tried flying with his wings. His speed was astonishing. The Fu clan had a unique talent in speed and illusion techniques. It was just like how the Phoenix clan controlled fire, and the Dragon clan controlled lightning. With such a talent, Ning Fan's speed was comparable to a divine transformation realm cultivator, even if he did not summon his wings. When he summoned his wings, his speed was comparable to a mid-divine transformation realm cultivator. What puzzled him the most was that the Fu wings did not consume any demon power when flying. It was as if it was drawing magic power from heaven and earth. This was especially true when he was chasing after Demon General Pure Cloud. While the latter was panting heavily due to teleportation, Ning Fan was not panting at all while chasing after him. Ning Fan did not pay much attention to this matter at that time. He just thought that it was a special ability of the royal bloodline. Now that he thought about it, it was definitely not that simple. Spirit equipment. Spirit equipment had spirit. Therefore, it could borrow the power of heaven and earth without consuming magic power. True spirit. True spirit. Because it had spirit, it could borrow the power of heaven and earth to control the laws of heaven and earth. Ning Fan did not know what spirit was, but he vaguely understood that it was a kind of ability. It was the ability to borrow magic power from heaven and earth. The Fu wings did not consume any demon power when flying. Perhaps it was because the Fu clan was one of the clans that retained spirit. Because this clan cultivated demon eyes, they could see through the truth of heaven and earth. Because this clan sought fortune and avoided calamity, they managed to escape a calamity and kept their spirit. However, they were cursed and their clan was wiped out within a short period of time. This guess was highly possible. Whether it was true or not, he would know it after trying it out. He just needed to carve a spirit seal on his demon body. If he succeeds, his Fu demon blood would possess a potential that no other true spirit could compare to. Ning Fan only knew 3 types of spirit seals: toughness spirit seal, fire spirit seal, and sharpness spirit seal. He suddenly stood up. 2 large purplish-black crystal wings grew out from his back. He formed a hand seal with his fingertips and carved a spirit seal on his left wing. Immediately, an excruciating pain that felt like being cut by a knife and a pen spread across his entire body along his wings. It reminded him of the pain of having his lines tattooed. However, this pain was just the first stroke, and it was not as painful as having his lines tattooed. Ning Fan clenched his teeth and endured it. The Toughness Spirit Seal has 1 main demon character and 7 secondary demon characters. There are a total of 197 strokes. His tone was calm as if he was talking about something casual. The second stroke was carved. the third stroke, the fourth stroke. The pain of each stroke gradually increased. When it reached 100 strokes, it gradually became terrifying. 101 strokes, 102 strokes, 196 strokes.